fake humility, tired of being tired, I'm tired of false stability. I just wanna make a couple dollars, fly to Italy, take a trip to Golan, travel to the motherland, spend a couple of dollars in villas overlooking sand, disappear with the phone, just a couple of plans. I wait, remember I'm on the planet where little men kill each other for change. It's insane, need a plan somehow, gotta get on my feet, arouse from sleep, no time to be concerned with the luxuries of the beach. We trap, how did we get so fascinated with we? My people dying too fast, can't lose a minute, we need to rise. As I try to envision the first steps, get distracted of stress and lose sight of the rest. It's too hot to think, it's too hard to rise. In this pot we sink, and we all reside inside.
If you slip or you fall today, don't lose your grip, don't you fall away. Stand up 7 times and I'm praying for the tribes, and I don't wanna lose you. Slip or you fall today, don't lose your grip, don't you fall away. Stand up 7 times and I'm praying for the tribes, and I don't wanna lose.
I hate the throwaway bars, I hate the arrogant way. I hate the music the father ain't never given to play. We wonder why we in hell, we even killing the faith. We look just like all the people we say are lost in their way. I pray as you listen, each of these bars will hit them. Even to all them niggas disguised as brothers in faith. Guess the light's on you, the more eyes on you, the more your weaknesses are seen. Your disguise won't do. Look to the skies, who surprised all the champions and guys you looked up to. You find they were all trying to. The nation still got gods. Kill the spirit for it, kill our odds of getting out here alive.
If you slip or you fall today, don't lose your grip, don't you fall away. Stand up 7 times and I'm praying for the tribes, and I don't wanna lose you. Slip or you fall today, don't lose your grip, don't you fall away. Stand up 7 times and I'm praying for the tribes, and I don't wanna lose you.
Cause I only give you truth. I pray the spirit give you juice too. I've been with you through the trials, now I'm with you till you make it, and I never wanna lose you. He said I'm with you till the end. No greater love ever been. Man, I be praying for my twins, everybody in the tribe, make it to the end. Cause I only give you truth. I pray the spirit give you juice too. I've been with you through the trials, now I'm with you till you make it, and I never wanna lose you. He said I'm with you to the end. No greater love ever been. Man, I be praying for my twins, everybody in the tribe, make it to the end. Yeah, give me the tech.
And I ain't letting know. Tell the devil it ain't enough. I know what you going through, keep going. I'm sure if they had their way, I been stopped. See, I can see him from a mile away. They in the cut, know how I play it. And the food won't start today. Then I'ma play my part. Much is given, much required. I won't let them treat me out my place. Up, I gotta show I'm from how they play it hard. Don't know why I thought that it would change. When I came in, it's true. Once you peep the facial loans, then you cool. The way they play the game, flaw, I never do. Stay in your place, I'm like a paw to these little dudes. And we gon' get most out of praise, he brought me through it. My mind stay like anything we could do it. We putting work up on this faith and we improve. I try to tell them I ain't new to this. First we did it, now they doing this. Sticking to the manuscript. I let they follow the blueprint. Elohim sending me, did not go. Tell my enemies to step it up. Tell the devil it ain't a no. Keep on going on and on and on and on and on. I'm fighting. I'm fighting. I ain't letting no. I'm gonna keep on going on and on and on. It ain't a no. And on. Tell the devil it ain't a no. I'm fighting. Look at all that we done been through. We done overcame all that they pretend to. We don't fold, we don't bend. We knew in due time we would overcome. It's like a jungle sometimes. It made me wonder how I keep from going on. Experience, I don't worry. Most I said look up at the birds, think about it. Call them bird brain, but somehow they maintain. If I do that for them, it's for you. Don't you think I'ma do the same thing or more? Gratitude, grateful. You said no one gotta support you. I separate. Get two, walk together, let's stay agree. Be the hand, I be the knee. Don't matter to me, get on your job, no indeed. Don't wanna hear your sob story, no indeed. Teach you how to live this life for peace. Take the choice, blessings and curses. You know we in the win. And you can't stand next to me if you pretend. Before the 12, we ain't doing to the end. Go.
Can't nobody move like us. 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 People. Can't nobody move like us. Can't nobody move like us. People. Can't nobody move like us. Can't nobody move like us. People. Can't nobody move like us. Can't nobody move like us. I know you heard what the pastor say. Better get the truth or you pass away. Do you see the booths in the masquerade? Standing in the booth made of grass and hay. Strapping up the boots on the Saturday. Gathering the troops for the black and Asiatic indigenous people that was sacked by Spain. Now you know the language of your masters. Now you trying to buy up all your masters. Now they got your women while you master. Now you throwing kiddies in like Dasta. Now you love your chains and you lack escape. Never saw a day when the blacks were great because they clever saw a way they could master face. If not them, then the facts are racist. Look at my back, never back to bases, I'm gone. Can't nobody move like us. 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 People. Can't nobody move like us. Can't nobody move like us. People. Can't nobody move like us. Can't nobody move like us. People. Can't nobody move like us. Can't nobody move like us. People. Methamphetamines in your veins. Couldn't see the spirit, so you ran into the pain. Couldn't fly with spirit, so you landed in the plane. With a liquor in the pills and the women give you gain. Running from the Father, but he calling your name. Run a little farther and you right back at the same. Nobody ever taught him that it's never gonna change till he turn back to the east. Never go back to your ways. Used to feel like the bag could save me. Used to smoke trees and relax, but lately I really found peace when I passed the bacon. And I live by these things, so I passed the bacon. In the word, not Pastor Mason. Not led by God, most pastors Masons. Most pastors faking, no paths are vacant. No classes to show those masters Nathan on God. Peculiar people, peculiar people. Peculiar people, peculiar people. Peculiar people, peculiar people.
Big Jew.
Peculiar people, peculiar people.
Can't nobody move like us. Can't nobody do it like us. They ain't really brewing like us. Who would've ever thought it'd be us? Cause they ain't been through it like us. They don't keep the law like us. They ain't outlaws like us. They ain't strong like us. On the block like us. Giving hope to the community. Kill the separation, we just focus on the unity. Every seven standing on the corner with the KJV. We don't even need a bunch of brothers, give me 2 or 3. Give me 20 minutes and I'll teach you your identity. Keep an open mind and listen up and maybe you will see. Ooh, these are the nations, they want your salvation. They don't give a damn about what we've been through. They would not tell you the chosen is you. So come follow me, I'll teach you how to move.
Peculiar people, peculiar people. Peculiar people, peculiar people. Peculiar people, peculiar people. Peculiar people, peculiar people.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. This your soldier Araya with Anointed House of Saints coming to you today with the verse of the day from out of Sirach 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. What we got to understand is the Bible is written by our people, for our people, and to our people. And the Most High has enemies, and his enemies are our enemies. And today we live in a multi-ethnic country, and you know, it's clear cut who don't like us, pretty much all the nations. And at the end of the day, we need to start focusing and giving trust to the Most High, his law, statutes, and commandments. Because at the end of the day, we tried everything, loving all the other nations, dealing with all the other nations. The one thing we have not tried was getting back to who we are and, you know, loving the Most High and pretty much the book. So I want to say shalom, good morning, Thawada.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. It's DTA Soldier Nadab with the Anointed House of Saints with another verse of the day. Let's get it, man. We're going to go to the book of Sirach, chapter 25 and verse 21. Let's read it. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure. The Most High is making it plain and simple for us. He said, stumble not at her beauty. Yeah, I made her beautiful, right? But it's a choice she has to make to follow the Most High, right? She has to be a woman that is a virtuous woman. That's just not the outside vanity, right? It's also what's on the inside. Listen up, man. This is DTA Soldier Nadab with the Anointed House of Saints with another verse of the day, warning brothers to stumble not at her beauty. Shalom.
To the Most High, this is Captain Yonatan, Anointed House of Saints. This is your Bible verse of the day. And this is the book of Exodus, chapter 6 and verse 9. And Moses spake unto the children of Israel, but they hearkened not unto Moses for anguish of spirit and for cruel bondage. Man, hey, a lot of the times we got to be patient with our people. We be at camp fighting demons, fighting spirits. We just got to understand our people ain't trying to hear it, man, because they anguish of spirit and cruel bondage. In this captivity, they did the same thing to Moses. But at the end of the day, man, we're going to teach in season and out of season. And we're going to continue to call the people back to the feast, man. So all praise to the Most High. Shalom.
AHOS.
Out in my ride, so much on my mind, just trying to catch a vibe. Thinking about my people, it seems they all blind. They thinking they know the truth, but no, not of the 12 tribe. Some say we a nation that's built up on tribulation. Some say we was taken and put in this situation. I say honestly, man, it's a little bit of both. Just take it from a nigga who parents native and Haitian. White folks stole my people's land, but we gon' take it back, cause the Most High put the power in our hands. Yeah, we going straight reprimand, cause the people did us dirty and never got punished. From here to France, they out here preaching peace, but to us ain't none given. Convince us to protest, but disregard how we living. Well, soon y'all gon' know how we feeling. Yeah, how is coming back to prove to you that you ain't been forgiven. I'ma break it to you now that with this joint ain't no hook. The aristocrats on the mic pushing them words like a book. I'm anointed and I'm a saint and I got these niggas shook. I'm a Danite prince of the power and I can't be forsook. I think it's unfortunate that y'all couldn't face the facts. You so confused, you can't seem to break down Romans and Acts. When I teach, y'all got me losing all of my patience. Hear the word Israelite and then it turns to Galatians. Honestly, y'all need to do some investigating. My people acknowledge but still fighting for education. Broke them shackles off of my mind and set me free. Now Father, y'all got me thinking immortal relation. Try and wake y'all up, but you suckers being complacent. Shot that nigga in the street, but how you grew up's adjacent. Take a nigga life for a little bit of wealth just to spend that shit and move back into your mama's basement. Now you become a Muslim so that your life don't get taken. Boy, assalamu alaikum, bean pies, green eggs and bacon. Allah just a title, not the name of the Most High. You a Israelite soon to be seeing revelation. Hey, now they saying the prince is lyrical. I'm ruling this thing, but it ain't nothing empirical. Yahweh shot sent the comforter, got me feeling spiritual. Yasha Allah on the rise, I ain't even hit the pinnacle. Hey, y'all know ain't too many better than I start watching on this mic, I even got a letterman. Skills, concrete, solid, I ain't talking settlement. Reppin' the Anointed House, man, you know we killing it. Hey, this time around, y'all better get a ticket. This young hit a bomb like the 96 Olympics. Mess with the men of the Lord, might end up in the clinic. We taking the kingdom soon, 1 hour, 0 minutes.
Yo, shalom, shalom, shalom. Welcome back, family, for another Milk Mondays. I'm your host, Officer Knock. I'll be joined shortly. Oh, let me pull him up right now. And I'm joined with, as you know, Captain Eliel, all the aristocrat. And we are back with another Milk Monday lesson. So glad to have you here. But before we get started, let's first all give all praises to our Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bahashem, Mashiach Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. All right. We want to give all praises for having us come back to our understanding and remembrance of our scriptures. And of our heritage. But tonight's class, Captain has an interesting class. I think we may have gone over this. We may have. Hold on, one second. Hey, Captain, can you go ahead and take over real quick? Salakia.
Yeah, come. Well, we haven't actually gone over this class before. The stuff that I'm about to go over today. Just until he comes back. Main reason I'm doing this class, Boaz sent me the video. I also saw what Priest did. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Priest Haka and Hassad from Genesis. But I saw the video. I was doing a peer review thing for Priest, and I was like in the midst of it, going back on the channel just to go back and check the video out. And I seen the video on Truth Unedited. And at the same time, Boaz had happened to send it to me. So I checked it out. And then I realized when I went on Truth Unedited's page, I realized he had made 4 videos since that point by the time I saw it. So I watched a couple of them and I realized this whole thing was about him trying to say that we're connected to Freemasonry, right? So me being the history guy, I wanted to explain Masonry to you guys and the secret societies and all that type of stuff, because for one, we're not connected to it. 2, if you know anything about Prince Hall Masonry and the Masonry that the dude is trying to, connect us to, that basically is what I'm trying to get into and what I'm going to prove today, that it's not what the dude's talking about. What's good with the squeaky clean guy? He says, look at this loser here. You're a clown, bro. Thumbs down for this trash channel. This was some sorry videos. Wow. Okay, so I guess we got the scoffers already in the building. All right. So, yeah, Truth Unedited is a duck monkey. Why is he an idiot? Because Truth Unedited seems to think that he could speak on camps, right? In the video, he said the camp shouldn't feel offended by it or whatever if they don't, fit the criteria or whatever. But the thing would be, he knows he didn't say what camps don't fit the criteria, which would naturally lump us all in, right? So then you got to understand is this. When it comes to Masonry, there's levels to it, right? There's what you guys call Freemasonry, right? Which would just be Freemasonry, right? There's 2 types of Freemason lodges. One for white people, which would be called a Blue Lodge, and one for black people, which would be called a Prince Hall Lodge, right? So that's basically how it is. There's 3 degrees that you can go to through Freemasonry, right? First degree, apprentice. Second degree, I forget what that one is, and the third one is a Master Mason, right? I'll show you guys in a second, though, everything. And Prince Hall was created because at the beginning of Freemasonry in America, black people were not allowed in the Blue Lodges, which are the original lodges, right? That's why you have the little G with the compass and the blue sign in the back. It's always blue because the Blue Lodge is what started here in America, right? Prince Hall started lodges for black people. If you know anything about Masonry, when it comes to the Blue Lodges and the Prince Hall Lodges, their Masonry only goes up to the first 3 degrees. It's essentially a fraternity at that point, right? The rules to Freemasonry, whether Blue Lodge or Prince Hall, in a god, right? Whether Allah or Buddha or the Most High or anybody, right? They don't talk about God in their meetings or any of that type of stuff, right? How do I know this? Because before I came into the truth, I was studying this stuff, right? Just to study it. I didn't become a Mason. I've made that clear to you guys before, even when we were SOT, right? I studied this stuff when I was in college just to see what it was about. I even had the idea, me and my friend Anthony, that we did the class about a couple years ago that got killed by the police in Coweta County. Me and him damn near infiltrated the Stone Mountain faction of the Prince Hall Masons, right? We met them at the skating rink one day because y'all know I roller skate. They had a skate party out there, and we went ahead and went through to one of their meetings after meeting them at the thing and tried to see if we could learn as much as we can about them, because you know the whole conspiracy theories around Freemasonry and stuff like that, right? We wanted to see if there was any crazy rituals, if they was gonna be drinking niggas' blood and all that crap, and we were disappointed as hell to find out this is just a bunch of old niggas just drinking beer, talking about their families and shit, because it's just a fraternity. It's like being a Kappa or Alpha, but they don't be stepping and doing all this crap. You know what I'm saying? Ain't none of that. But that's essentially all it is. You have to be in what's called a rite to learn the secrets, right? There's Scottish rites, there's the Swedish rite, there's the French rite, right? The rite is what makes you go from 4th degree to 33rd degree. And I'm sure you've heard people use the term, I'm a 33rd degree Mason, right? You can't be a 33rd degree Mason at a Prince Hall Lodge or a 33rd degree Mason at a Freemason Blue Lodge. You would have to be in a rite in order for that to happen, right? Once you're in a rite, then you have access to the other secret societies like the Skull and Bones or the Knight Templars or the Rosicrucians, those things, right? It ain't got nothing to do with Eastern Stars and Masons, though. That's the lowest level, the fraternity of it, right? That's essentially the boule.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So we're going to get into this lesson today, but I just wanted to explain to you guys that's what this is about. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get into it because I've never actually seen any Israelite go into this before. He said we never go into the history of it, so I'm going to go into the history of this part, right? And explain that. But I'm also going to let you guys hear from elders that were at the old schools to prove that, you know, we're not connected to Masonry or any of them guys that, you know, Truth Unedited try to connect us to. So go ahead, Knock. I'm gonna let you take over while I see what Quickie Nick this squeaky nigga talking about.
Con the water. So yeah, Salaki everyone. Had to take care of something that came up real quick. First, can you hear me pretty good, Cap? Just I can make sure my levels are right. I don't want to be too loud. And do I sound okay to chat? Do I sound all right?
Yeah,
I sound good. Okay.
All
right. You can put a 7 in the chat if you can hear me. I had a little sound issue. But so tonight's title is Truth Unedited, proven to be what we call a duck monkey. What Captain calls duck monkey, right? That's I gotta find that I should have had it pulled up. I should have had it queued up already, right? Should have yelling donkey. But so the title, Truth Unedited,
just like ghetto karate kid. I dress like a ghetto karate kid.
Yeah.
What's up? Hey, Squeaky, pull up to camp. I'll beat your ass. I'll karate kid your ass one time. You know what I'm saying? Huh? Where's all this coming from, Squeaky? I don't even know you. I've never seen you on the channel before.
Yeah, we get them weirdos that come up here every now and then.
How do you know I serve Satan? How do you know the Creator's going to turn his back on me? This is a lot of stuff that you're writing. You know the Most High is going to make you answer for everything you've said, right?
I don't think he know that or cares.
What if I'm not somebody he turns his back on? You don't think he going to get your ass for saying all this stuff?
Right.
I'd be in the news quick. What does that mean? I'm light work. Oh, you don't even know who I am. My work is on camera, buddy.
Yeah,
I might be lightweight a little bit, but ain't nothing light about the work, homie.
Right, kind.
Yeah, don't play games.
Well, I tell you. But
I'm
real
not
quick
stuff on the internet. I told you come to camp. You want to pull up Woodruff Park, 4:00, Atlanta, Georgia. Come by, Squeaky.
Well, you know what? I mean, he's so tough right now. I can send him a link if he wants to bring his complaint.
Told you to pull up
to the floor.
Woodruff Park, right next to the skate park, 4 p.m. every Saturday. Yeah.
Do you want to come up?
Right. It's not hard to figure out where I'm at. Dumbass, I just told you. Duh.
Hey, Squeaky Clean, you want to come up on stage? You want to talk? Want to have a conversation?
No, he don't want to talk over the internet. He just wants to talk over the keyboard. He's too scared to show his face. Sure, he won't do that.
Let's try him.
Niggas like Squeaky on that type of time.
Yeah, we got a link in there. So anytime you get you feel like you want to get something out or whatever, you know, hit the link. Hey, but if you come up here, you got to show your face. So I'm just gonna put that out there right now. Show your face.
Yeah. So I can make it easy to find you too, fuck nigga. The link's right there.
Yeah, he don't want
it. Why would I converse with uneducated losers? All right, I'll just track your IP address. It's all good. Go ahead, Knock. Do what you do.
Count all praise. Yeah, I want to thank everyone for always
know who I am.
coming to our classes every Monday for these Milk Monday night lessons. So real quick, I'll go over and get the shout outs. Since we did get started a little late and we got a little issue going on with Squeaky Clean.
Ain't no issue.
Not no issue, but but a little disturbance maybe, or just some fun or whatever. I'm gonna give these shout outs and then we can go ahead and get class.
I'm already on the hate watch list, Squeaky. They're not gonna do nothing to me. Keep playing around, Squeaky.
God. Let's give a shout out to Sister Johanna. Shalom to you, sis. Shalom to the mighty officer Kasaja. Shalom. Shalom to the lovely sister Asanaya. Shalom to Sister Malka, lovely Sister Malka. Shalom to the lovely sister I'm sorry, I thought of Anariah. That's the mighty brother. Azariah, shalom to you, brother. Good to see you. You can see shalom to Like No Other Nation 144. Shalom to the mighty Captain Shaquat. Shalom to the mighty officer Banyamin. Shalom to the mighty officer Shemaiah. Shalom to the mighty soldier Kawal. Shalom to the lovely sister Belin. Shalom. He lightened it up. Let's see who else we got on here. I think that may be it. Anyone else who wants? Shalom to Sister Deborah. Shalom Casa de Zebulon. Shalom to you, sis. Always good to see you here. Anyone else that may want to be shouted out, post something in the chat and I'll call it out. But I think I'll address announcements at the end of class. So go ahead, Cap. Let's get started because I know we got started a little bit behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, we got a long class today. So hi.
Shalom, Aka Rectitude. Shalom to you.
All right. So first I want to start with this clip because a lot of these dudes like Truth, the Duck Monkey, they like to say things about camps and stuff and attach us to things, and they was never a part of camps. He tells you that. He claims to have never learned from us, which I could say that's obvious. He's a Yahuwahite, right? And anytime you got any of them type of dudes, it's gonna be an issue. But something he doesn't know, right? The doctrine he uses, the name he got anyway, the Yahuwah name is a name that comes from the guys that he tried to attach us to, the Wentworth Matthews and the Commandment Keepers, and the FS Cherries and all them type people, right? So that's what we're gonna go over today. And first I want y'all to hear Priest Daniela because he was somebody who was there. He spoke on this particular video, right? We also have elders that were at the old school that Priest Daniela says were there before him, like Elder Zaquan or Elder Barak, right? So we have people that also can speak on what actually happened, that have relationship with the elders. It's still videos that you can find online where Zaquan's at camp and Elder Barak is holding the camera recording the elders, right? So it's like, yeah, we got that type of stuff on camera. We got proof of that type of stuff, right? So we could actually give you guys people that was at the old school to let you know who was connected to what, who was involved in what, if any of the teachers was Masons and so on and so forth. But a lot of the time, for some reason, y'all believe people that openly claim they was never a part of the school instead of listening to the people that had something to do with it. I don't understand that. So there's nothing plastic about this, bro. This is 14 karat gold. This is 14 karat gold. Like, I don't understand what you read about. What's wrong? I could show you if you need me to. If it's that important to you, gold has a plate on it when it's real. It's got 14K on it, on the clasp and on my check. Like it's niggas are retarded. But the thing is, people got to understand that Israelites, right, especially from the One West, we have elders, like I said, that are still alive that can vouch for the type of things that happen. So I just want to play one of those guys so you can hear, contrary to what Truth and Edited said, and then we're gonna get into the video that Truth and Edited made and go from there, right? So, all right.
One more time. If I'm good as I am, then we
You're
can just
good. You're good.
All praise to the Most High. All praise to Shalom to you, priest Akar. Shalom to you, Assad. All praise to the Most High. Shalom to the audience. All praise.
Shalom. So yeah, I don't know if you heard. I think you watched this video a couple of days ago, but we're at the part where he's saying that we, for sure, the camps who teach on the street, who are under the One West umbrella, go back to those three men, Christian, Crowdy, and Cherry, and our foundation is built on Masons, and we teach hate and all of this stuff that he's saying. So can we just get I know we talked on the phone, but can you give it to the people, like the genesis of One West and how it doesn't come from Crowdy, Cherry, or Christian?
Well, I don't know how much time I have, Deacon. I mean, excuse me, I said Deacon. A priest. I don't know how much time I have, and so I don't want to start there. First thing I want to start off with by saying is that I heard when I came into the live, I heard him saying, he's not sure, probably, possibly. That should be a red flag to the audience already. That means he doesn't know what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. Hopefully you guys heard that. That should be a red flag. Your antenna should go up automatically. So this is what I want to say. And preach, just allow me some space. I might be a little long-winded. Hassad, allow me a little space. I might be a little long-winded, but this is history that I think that people need to know. So, I'm going to start someplace else completely unrelated to what we're talking about right now. So, before I became an Israelite, I was a 5%er, right? Nation of Gods and Earths, right? I followed or listened to Farrakhan, listened to Khalid Muhammad, others, before I came into the truth, right? Which was the later years of the Nation of Islam. But there's a history that goes before that. After Elijah Muhammad died, for those that don't know, Slakia, and y'all forgive me, I'm a little under the weather, but I'm here anyway. After Elijah Muhammad died, for those of y'all that are a little young, y'all don't know, it wasn't a smooth transition to Farrakhan being the leader. I don't know if many of you guys know that, right? Farrakhan's son, Wallace D. Muhammad, took over, but there was he took them to what is known as traditional Islam. But you had another guy by the name of Silas Muhammad that kept the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, but he wasn't as popular as Elijah Muhammad's son, Wallace Muhammad. So the majority of the people that followed Elijah Muhammad followed his son, Wallace Muhammad, into traditional Islam. But Silas Muhammad kept the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, but he wasn't as popular. And then we know Farrakhan was with Wallace Muhammad at first, and then later on he left Wallace Muhammad and revamped the Nation of Islam. But there's always been this beef, even up to this day, because Silas Muhammad is still alive, and we know Farrakhan is still alive. Silas Muhammad said he's the rightful heir to Elijah Muhammad and not Farrakhan. Farrakhan says he's the rightful heir. Now, why am I saying all this stuff to you, brothers and sisters? I'm saying this stuff because none of us was there. None of us was there. I don't know.
Everybody saw me tell this duck monkey squeaky that I'm in Atlanta, right? You can pull up to the school, Woodmire. They can handle you there too. But I'm in Atlanta. Pick a location. Pick a location.
Oh, who Elijah Muhammad said should take over? Should it have been his son? Should it have been Farrakhan? Should it have been Silas Muhammad? They're all saying that it should have been each and every one of them. But what I don't do from the outside is talk about history I'm not a party to. Does everybody understand that? I know of all the history. I know of all the contentions, but I don't insert myself as an authority to history I wasn't a party to. So now bringing it to what we're talking about now, we have a...
Bruh. Knock, are you there? Knock, you there? If anybody was here at the beginning of the class and you heard me tell Squeaky that I'm in Atlanta by the skate park at Woodruff Park, I mean 5 points. Put a 7 in the chat. If you heard me tell him that we by the skate park 4 o'clock in Atlanta every Saturday, and that the brother could rewind it. Nobody lying, bruh. Niggas gonna stop saying I said something that I didn't say. Brothers don't lie.
A lot of people, from the vocab balloons of the world to this particular gentleman, Truth Unedited, that Deacon is talking about right now. These are people that are not a party to what happened at One West or the history of One West, that speak authoritatively when they have no authority because they wasn't there. They don't know anybody that was associated with it whatsoever, which is why he was using words like possibly, probably, and I'm not sure, because you don't know, nigga. That's why. And this is me saying this, not Deacon. It's not Assad. It's me saying this. Now, with that being said, let's bring it down to the history of One West. So, the person that's always attributed with being the forerunner to One West is Eber Ben Yomin, who's also known as Abba Bivens. Abba Bivens is actually from the South. He's not from New York. He's from the South. And it is in the South where he comes into the knowledge that he is an Israelite in the South before he migrates north to New York. At some point, after he learns he's an Israelite, he migrates north to New York, and he begins to fellowship with a group of Israelites that existed in New York at the time called the Commandment Keepers. The Commandment.
So first thing, right, just to break it down for everybody that might not be understanding what's going on. The story, the misconception, the lie that's been told by Vocab Malone, by anybody damn near, all the people that follow Vocab and anybody that has learned the inception of the Israelites from him, right? They all have this story that connect Abba Bivens to the Commandment Keepers simply because Abba Bivens fellowshipped with them, right? So the Commandment Keepers, for those of you that don't know, they're Old Testament only Israelites, right? As you know, or as you should know if you're watching our channel, we are Israelites that believe in the New Testament, right? So we are Masonic Israelites, if you will, right? We believe in the Messiah. So we have Israelites that are Old Testament. They don't believe in the Messiah, which should, fundamentally be a difference as far as the foundation, because one group believes in the Messiah, one group doesn't, right? That's a huge fundamental difference. But for some reason, people don't acknowledge this fact and they try to lump us all together. But at the same time, won't lump the current Old Testament Israelites with One West because they know that we're not in any way, shape, or form connected. So it doesn't make any sense. You see us debating Old Testament Israelites, but then you try to connect, Abba Bivens with Wentworth Matthew. It don't make no sense just because they had fellowship with each other, right? We had a summit at the Old Testament school in Atlanta one year, right? We've never seen them brothers again, right? Hopefully we're going to see them shortly, right? But like we've never had a unity camp or nothing like that between that time because we're not technically connected with each other. You know what I'm saying? So that's what people have to understand. There's other schools of Israelite thought that aren't connected to One West. They did start from Wentworth Matthew and F.S. Cherry in them, right? But those brothers didn't teach our elders because, like he said, brothers like Abba Bivens, for one, they're from the South. So I want to show you something before I let Priest continue, because something happened in the South called the slave trade, right? There were things in the South called slaves, and a lot of these slaves, right, especially during the time of the Underground Railroad, they started to find out who they were because they were able to leave the plantation and start to read this Bible that they were never able to read, right? So people like Nat Turner, right, around 1831, he discovers the Bible and starts leading rebellions and stuff like that, right? You got Harriet Tubman. She discovers who she is. It's already knowledge in her family that she's an Israelite, her real name being Araminta, right? And her family being Israelites currently in the movement that we have right now. So it's like they already knew who they was, which is partly why she started the Underground Railroad. But what we have to understand is there's a specific song that a lot of these slaves on the Underground Railroad were taught to sing. It was called Wade in the Water, right? This is a Southern song, by the way. There's no like known date of when it was created. Let me show you that real quick. Nobody knows what slave made it or anything like that, right? All they know is it's a song that niggas been singing for a long ass time. Right? Wade in the Water. I asked what slave made Wade in the Water. They don't know. It's a spiritual song, African spiritual song, was not created by any specific enslaved person, meaning they don't know who it is. They gonna attribute it to Harriet Tubman, though, right? On the Underground Railroad. If I go deeper to try to figure out what it could be, they give you things like this. The lyrics Wade in the Water was soon published. So the first time it was published physically was 1901. But we know they were singing it way before that, right? Have you guys ever read the lyrics to Wade in the Water? Put a 7 in the chat if you read the lyrics to Wade in the Water. Because the reason I'm showing you this is because Albert Bivens comes from slaves in the South, right? So, like, him being somebody that comes from the South and all of that stuff. Let me make sure this is the right one. No, it's not. Hold on. Oh, they playing games. I've showed this before, and in the song Wade in the Water, the people singing it called themselves Israelites. They likened themselves to Moses. Apparently, they got a different version in this Ella Jenkins movie. Hold on a second. Here we go. All right, so I'm gonna pull this up for y'all. Oh, y'all can see it already. Why ain't say that, knock? Can you see it, or do I need to zoom in? You're on mute if you're talking.
Yeah, zoom in. Yeah, zoom in. Zoom in a little bit. If you can.
Y'all can see that?
Yeah, that's better.
All right. So y'all know the song, right? Wade in the water, right? I'm not gonna sing it, but if you read it, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's going to trouble the water, right? See that ghost all dressed in white? God's gonna trouble the water. That leader looks like the Israelite. God's gonna trouble the water. Who the hell? Why these slaves know about an Israelite?
Right.
They can't even read. So you mean the whole time they've been singing about us and y'all niggas ain't noticed, right? So this man's from the South. If the slaves are singing Negro spirituals about Israelites, you don't think they know who these people are and that they can connect themselves to them? Let's read on, because I know y'all just be singing the song, but all y'all know is the wade in the water. That's how y'all be singing at church. Y'all ain't never seen the other stanzas. Y'all just wade in the water, children, right? You know not. You a goddamn. You was at the Pentecostal church. You know how they get down.
God.
Huh?
Yeah.
Judah was playing the drums. Shaquat on the keyboard. Like, knock. Jonathan probably was rapping or something. Like, brothers was in church singing songs, but they never taught us these parts of the song, right? Like, see that host all dressed in white. God's gonna trouble the water. Leader looks like the Israelite. God's gonna trouble the water. See the band all dressed in red. God's gonna trouble the water. Looks like that band that Moses led. God's gonna trouble the water. How they know about Moses leading people out the water at the slavery, right? Paul's always talking to them Israelites about them being the people that Moses led. Now all of a sudden these Israelites in captivity know that they the people that Moses led, and they likening their situation of the Underground Railroad to the deliverance of Moses to the people in Egypt. Egypt also being a word for captivity, something that these people was in, right? A house of bondage. Come on now. Do we get any more spiritual than this one song right here?
Hey,
So I mean, this is just one example as to why the brother Abba Bivens would know he's an Israelite way before he goes to New York, because it was common knowledge in the South.
Salaki, can I bring out a scripture?
Go ahead.
On that? Yeah, I want to go to, because scriptures talk about this, right? Talks about our captivity and what the oppressor wanted us to do, right? And what we did as a communication amongst one another.
Kumbaya too, exactly. Come by and save us, Yah. That's what that means, right?
God. This is the book of Psalm, chapter 137. I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, by the rivers of Babylon.
Swing low, oh, sweet chariot. What the hell are they singing about a chariot for? What they know about that? Swing low. You think a chariot is something that you ride a horse on. What they need to swing low for? That means they knew a chariot was a spaceship, you duck monkey.
That's right.
Read between the lines, fool. Go ahead.
Let me get up my Bible instead.
I'm trying to show you guys that the Israelites knew they was Israelites in the South as slaves. So a lot of these brothers moved up north and started these movements. Okay, you got one movement that started up north with the commandment keepers, but you can't say everybody else that ended up north has to be connected with them if they had knowledge of them being Israelites before they met any of the commandment keepers. It's just like Chief Ephraim. He came from New York and then fellowshiped with us here in Georgia because it was the opposite, right? In New York, nowadays, it's way more Israelites than anywhere else, right? So you go there, you can fellowship with people, whether they agree with you or not. You can just fellowship. You got a place to go deal with on the Sabbath, all that type of stuff, right? I brought up Chief because it was the opposite with him. He came to Georgia from New York. He had fellowship with people he knew. We're not in the same camp, but we was able to unity camp. We was able to fellowship. We go to their school sometime. You know what I'm saying? We had brothers go to their house just now for Pentecost. Like it's a what's the word I'm looking for? It's a unity and fellowship type of thing, right? That doesn't mean that you came from them or y'all are connected any more than that. I personally have learned things from Chief Ephraim, but let's say, for example, I didn't, right? It doesn't mean that we can't be unified, right? That our groups can't align with each other. You know what I'm saying? Now, the thing with Wentworth, Matthew, and Abba Bivens went up there and ended up unifying with them as far as like a communion type base, right? A thing where they could come together, go over scriptures and stuff like that, right? Which is what Priest Daniel is about to explain to you guys in a second. So after they have a quarrel, because Abba Bivens, he goes up there, he's thinking everybody believe in the Messiah, because that's what we teach down here in the South. You rarely find any people that believe in the Bible, at least, especially during this time. You ain't gonna find many people that believed in the Bible that didn't believe in Jesus. In the South, the Bible Belt. Okay? Let's just be real. So let's say Abba Bivens is from Georgia or Alabama or South Carolina. He's gonna be from a place where there's a bunch of churches, right? He goes up to New York not knowing that there's brothers that believe they're Israelites or Jews that don't believe in the Bible as far as the New Testament is concerned. Once he finds that out, that becomes the quarrel between them. Go ahead, Knock, and then I'll finish the story. I
didn't want you to get too far before I brought the scripture up. When he talked about how he knew he was an Israelite before he came up from the South, right? Because of slavery, right? And so what does scripture say? Let's see what scripture say about this. This is the book of Psalm, chapter 137. I'm started at verse 1. It says, by the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, yea, we wept when we remembered Zion. We hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. For there they carried us away captive, required of us a song, and they that wasted us required of us of mirth, saying, sing us one of those songs of Zion. How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? So it just goes to your point. That was our communication. We did this anytime we were in captivity. You know what I'm saying? Our oppressors, knew our talents. We sung to communicate to one another. And they loved to hear us sing. And that's what we did. So that right there lines right up with what you were saying about who was it, Abba Bivens, before he moved up to New York. Him having knowledge of being Israelites, because of what the slave captivity still holds true through our singing of Negro spirituals. And I was a part of just a funny little note. It's funny because there's so many songs that were sung during slavery time that they didn't even list them all. I was in this choral ensemble in college, and we actually did formal Negro spirituals. So a lot of the songs, so a lot of the times that they sung, what's up?
Hell no. You was just singing Negro spirituals, not?
I mean, I was in a choir, bro.
Did you put on sackcloth?
No, we put on choir robes. With the African dashiki style.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but
good. Can y'all picture Knock with no beard singing Negro spirituals?
Yeah, they can. Why can't they? Shoot. No, they can't. I can. I did it. Yeah, I had fun, man. We got to tour New York, New Jersey, all East Coast, all up the East Coast, Canada, all that, man. You know, it was a nice time. Nice memories.
That's what's
up. I learned a lot though. But go ahead, Salaka. Go ahead, Cap.
But hey, but so then you could testify to what I'm saying. A lot of them Negro spirituals is biblical, right?
That's right.
Yep.
They were also called formally composed. We'll just add another term to it. But go ahead.
Explain to the people what that means, because some people don't know what formal means, and some people have no idea the depths of composition.
I mean, it really goes into structure, the song meaning, texture of the song, everything that brought up everything to deal with our pain, our suffering. We were able to formally compose those into basically spirituals that, like I said, they were used. There were two ways. They were used to uplift. They were used to on those hard, long days to give us strength. And they were also used as communication. So they were used as being formally composed.
That's why they're so soulful. Because you know, when the person starts singing real soulful, typically the black person, I'm not gonna.
The water says.
When the person starts singing real soulful, right? You typically get like butterflies in your stomach, or your adrenaline start rushing, and you get the little goosebumps and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It make you feel different. That might give you energy. You know what I'm saying? All that type of crap. So that used to uplift brothers out there when they're out there in the field and everything, right? When the sister starts singing and stuff, and then the brother starts singing, and then the nigga like Knock starts singing, and then it's a rap. Now you got a whole this nigga like me and Judah playing beats on the ground and shit, and like Knock like it become a whole damn band outside. You know what I'm saying? Niggas slapping sticks, pulling cotton, making sounds. Like we end up with a whole band outside till they come whip everybody to death and make everybody go back to work. Or, like you said, it become a form of communication. They say when we sing the song, that means the master not looking, so start running. Somebody sing the song, sway everybody to sleep, and 15 slaves run out the back door. You know what I'm saying? While the rest of them working. And then the next day, another group of them decide to do the same thing. One girl sing, the next, 15 more leave, and everybody else working. Like, it'd be that type of thing, form of communication, right? So it's those type of situations that the song would be used for. But nevertheless, because the lesson is not about the song, it's about this knucklehead right here on the screen, right, with the glasses on, looking like a cop, and he feel like one now too, don't he? That's not Knock, guys. That's true phoneticity, okay? Yeah, I know some of y'all was like, ain't that? No, that ain't Knock. Don't do that.
No, I ain't no.
He's not the police, nah. And this guy is the police for sure.
Not come from Crowdy or Cherry. They actually come from a guy by the name of Rabbi Matthews.
He also lied too. He said that I think he said Matthews had a direct connection to Noble Drew Ali. That's what this guy says. He's gonna put that on his slide that we're gonna see in the video. That is a 144,000% lie. And I'm gonna show you, right? Even Wikipedia tells you the truth about that situation. I guess he thought you weren't just gonna go look it up or nothing like that. So we're gonna go over that too. Crazy.
Rabbi Matthews is the forerunner of the commandment keepers, not Crowdy, not Cherry, not the Christians. but somebody else outside of that. His name is Rabbi Matthews. So when Bivens comes to New York, he already knows he's an Israelite. So what he does is he finds
Abba Bivens is the one that knows he's an Israelite. For those of you guys that don't know, Abba Bivens is the man that was fellowshipping with the commandment keepers, then leaves because he finds out they're Old Testament only, goes and starts his own school in Harlem, and that becomes I forget what that was called, the Israelite School of something, and then it became ISUPK later on, One West, when it got moved. Once Yaquab and them pulled up on the scene, right? Yaquab, Masha, Ariyah, and the other elders, right? So that's that. But Abba Bivens, he's the start. He's the foundation of that school, right? He already had his foundation before he went to the commandment keepers to fellowship with them. It was just fellowship. Then it became a debate, if you will, over whether they should follow the New Testament or not. The other guys decided they don't want to. They want to keep it the way it is, right? Which it's still like that to this day. They're Jewish, non-Messianic, and the Jewish people accept it. You could go to the commandment keepers in New York, and they're a nationally recognized synagogue. Yeah, because they're Jewish. They have nothing to do with us. We're not the same. The foundation is not the same. We don't align ourselves with the Jewish people. They consider themselves Jewish. So how are we the same? It doesn't make any sense. How is that our foundation when that was never our foundation? We've never considered ourselves ish anything, right?
finds
Except maybe blackish.
company and fellowship with other people that also acknowledge they're Israelites in New York, or the commandment keepers. But as time goes on, Bivens has a difference between them and him and his beliefs, because he believes in the New Testament. He believes in HaMashiach Yahushua, Jesus Christ. So Bivens separates from the commandment keepers, and he forms the Israelite School of Torah.
There you go.
That's what he did.
Israelite School of Torah, right? Then the Israelite School of Torah becomes the Israelite School of Biblical, what's it, ISUPK? Of Universal Practical Knowledge.
Universal Practical Knowledge.
I was thinking about ISBHPK. That's the other group, the other break off that happened right after that one. That became ISBHPK, Israelite School of Biblical Practical Knowledge. That the name is close together because they was like the first break off to the West, right? It was a brother directly from that school. So, but yeah, so that's that, right?
And then
so far, there's no connection to FS Cherry to Wentworth Matthew, right?
From that, you have his students, Mashar, Ariyah, and Yaquab, that founded One West. So
his students, Masha, Ariyah, Yaquab, which it's really Masha and Yaquab, and Ariyah came because he's the son of Yaquab, so he's there by default because of Yaquab. And then, the other elders filled in, the big 7, and then you got the big 12 after that. And then it becomes, the split. Then we get the ISUPK, and we get that school that Comfy had, and then we got HOD, House of David, right? Which is where our particular elders came from, House of David, right? Where when Masha left after the split, and then there was a bunch of splits after Masha and Yaquab died. You know what I'm saying? There was the stuff with Johanna leaving and then coming back. He becomes the leader of ISUPK. General Hashar and them are with Comfy. Then they end up splitting off and leaving. And then he's got AOC now. And Zabak leaves HOD. He got HOI after they had their thing. Nathaniel leaves them before that. And he starts IUIC. You know what I'm saying? So all these breakouts happen. None of that starts from the commandment keepers. None of it had nothing to do with them. The foundation is different. We believe in the Most High and the Messiah, and they still don't. We're not the same. They're not like us.
One West does not come from the commandment keepers. One West does not come from Sherry. It does not come from any of those guys whatsoever, right? It actually comes out of Abba Bivens, who fellowship for a short time with the commandment keepers when he came to New York, but he didn't agree with them. So he started his own organization, and it is from there that the so-called One West camps are formed. We don't come from Cherry. We don't come from Crowdy, and we don't even really come from Matthews either, who founded the Commandment Keepers.
So Cherry and Crowdy are the guys that came up with themselves being Israelites in the 80s and I mean the early in the late 1800s, Salaki. Late 1800s, right? But as I said, if you're from the South, which if I'm not mistaken, Cherry, I think Cherry, or it might be Cherry and Crowdy, hell, but I know for sure Cherry from the South. So even them brothers knew who they was because of the South. But they end up going up north to start schools, right? From the South. I believe one goes to Philadelphia and New York. The other one goes to New York and California and Wisconsin. Or not Wisconsin, but Wichita, Kansas. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're moving from place to place to start these schools and these organizations. And other people that they taught go on to start schools and organizations. One of the people they taught went to New York. His name was Wentworth Matthew, right? Or one of the people they taught in New York, rather. Wentworth Matthew grows up to start the Commandment Keepers as an Old Testament only Jewish organization. So you can't lump somebody who starts an organization that's completely different than Wentworth Matthews with Wentworth Matthew just because they had a fellowship together. You know what I'm saying? That's like me and Sakari have a unity camp. Now all of a sudden I'm in Sakari. It don't work like that. It's just the fellowship. You know what I'm saying? So, but for some reason, people aren't treating the situation like that, or they're not getting the right information. I don't know what it is, but you can't just tell us or lump us together with Wentworth Matthew and F.S. Cherry and Crowdy just because they was saying they was Israelites. They're not even the only people that was saying it was Israelites. Because as I said, it's known fact that Nat Turner knew he was an Israelite. So where did he learn it from? Because Cherry and Crowdy wasn't alive yet. And then Harriet Tubman. It's a known fact that she knew she was an Israelite and that her family knew they were Israelites and that they named her original name, Araminta, based off their knowledge of what it meant in the Hebrew. So they knew they were Israelites. And this is a story that's, generationally passed down by her family. You could even hear them talk about it on YouTube because the video is still up there. I've showed that to y'all before. So you gotta put all that into perspective. How does Nat Turner and Harriet Tubman and Abba Bivens all know that they Israelites and they from the South? They have no connection to anybody up north. But these guys up north also know that they're Israelites. But there's a difference in the foundation. The guys up north, like Wentworth Matthew, they're Old Testament only. The guys from the South that go up north, they for some reason believe in the Messiah. Right? So that's a nuance that you have to put into perspective. And something else that you're going to learn, Yaquab is from the South and Masha is from the Midwest. So they too are not from New York. And they too believe in the Messiah.
And I want you and Assad to ask questions. I think I'd be better off answering questions if you guys have questions, more so than just rambling on. So did what I say make sense?
That makes sense.
So I guess while we got the elder, we'll keep him on for a few more minutes. Do you guys have any questions in the chat? So I guess I would ask, so you're saying that even though Abba Bivens wasn't a part of the Commandment Keepers, he fellowshipped with them, but do the Commandment Keepers go back to Crowdy, Cherry, or?
Yeah, they would come from that order. Yes, you could say that. That makes more sense. But Bivens already knew he was an Israelite when he got to New York. And so he just found fellowship with some people, like-minded people. When he came to New York, he's not from here. But once he got with them, there were certain things that he was studying that they did not agree with. And he brought it to them, and they did not agree with it. So he separated, and he did his own thing and formed his own school in Harlem. As a matter of fact, I'll take it a step further. Not only is Bivens not from New York, but Masha, who was really the top guy at One West, is not from New York either. Yaquab, who was probably the second guy at One West, he's also not originally from New York either.
And I heard it was the other way around. Just the stories I heard it was Yaquab, then Masha, until Yaquab got too old, and then Masha took over and he became the top dog. And once Yaquab got too old, from what I heard allegedly, that's also when Ariyah stepped up, when he had his dream and everything, and then he did his research, and that's how we got the chart. There were also brothers that came later on, like Karata Allah. Rest in peace to that elder. He's the guy that brought us to Paleo Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? And we also had a good relationship with him before he died when we were at SOT. He used to come meet with us and stuff like that when he came to Atlanta. So that's how we got a lot of his history. Sitting at the brunch table and the breakfast table and the dinner table with these elders and asking them questions and picking their brain. Like y'all niggas should have been doing instead of making up stories to put on YouTube for views.
A lot of the founders of One West are not from New York. They came here. They migrated here from other places. Yaikwab migrated from the South as well. Marshall migrated from the Midwest. And I know this because I was under Marshall's wing until he died. So Marshall used to talk to me and Bun Lawyer a lot and told us a lot of the history of One West. I got it straight from his mouth. Most of these guys are not even from New York whatsoever. So they were not, because these groups, they get their genesis in New York, the Commandment Keepers, so forth and so on, right? They were very popular here in New York, but these guys are not from New York whatsoever. They came here, Bivens first, of course, and then Marshall and Yaikwab later. They came here, but they don't come from these organizations that people are saying that they come from whatsoever. There's no proof of that whatsoever. And here's the thing. I'll say this too. Most of the people that talk about the history of One West have no real connection to the organization as it existed when the founders were alive. And these are the people that can best tell you where the organization they founded actually comes from, right? So even though there's differences, you know, all the camps have differences, right? You have Elder Tahar of GMS. He has his differences with Bishop Nathaniel of IUIC.
And there's reasons for that. If you know the stories, you've heard them. I ain't gonna mention them here, but the stories are out there, so you could find out why each of these elders have differences with each other, right? Because everybody's still, well, not everybody, but a lot of these dudes are still alive. So it ain't hard to like hit them up or, you know, slide in a DM on Facebook or Instagram. You can ask them questions. Believe me, they answer. Some of them are happy to talk. They ain't got nobody else to talk to about it. They want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? But you're not asking them no questions. You just come on the internet and make up crap. It don't make no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? You could buy them a coffee, sit down and like let a brother like Apostle Tahar tell you everything that happened. He will do it. You know what I'm saying? You could sit down with Elder Zaquan over some of that good old Jordan wine. He will tell you what happened. You know what I'm saying? You can sit down with Elder Zabak. You know what I'm saying? Sit down with him over Tecate, type of beer he liked. And he will tell you what happened. Like, brothers will tell you what's good. Y'all got to ask questions, though. Y'all don't be asking no questions. Y'all don't y'all don't talk to him. Y'all don't hit him up. And it's a shame because all the stories is going to die with them. And young brothers like me ain't gonna know nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's brothers older than me that don't know nothing because they ain't asking no questions. They ain't trying to find nothing out. Y'all just listening to vocab alone in the video he got on the internet. He ain't even our people. So why the hell? Who gonna tell him the truth? Where did he get his information? It was all secondhand. He don't have no firsthand accounts. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, get the information from people that were actually there. That's all I'm saying. So, yeah, we'll drop that for now, right? But that's what Priest Daniela was telling you guys, right? And he told you straight up, we ain't got no connection with them dudes. You know what I'm saying? So, if you want to watch the rest of that, you could go back on Priest channel and check that out. Priest Akai and Genesis and everything. One more shout out to them brothers. So, all right, now I want to play the Duck Monkey of the day. Truth Unedited. So let's get into this first video.
Race, politics, or religion, because it will create controversy. And most people, they like to just avoid dealing with the backlash and criticism. So with that said, what if a topic deals with all three of those things, race, politics, and religion? You can imagine that the truth about that subject would be avoided like the plague. unless people are speaking to their target audience. So with all that said, by the title of this video, you know that I'm going to be dealing with one of those highly controversial topics. And I do expect backlash, but from those that are not my target audience. You see, my target audience are those who want to serve the Most High Yahuwah and live in the truth.
The thing with him, right? The reason he has no problem showing you all these different people on the screen is because he's now a sellout. Truth Unedited is no longer dealing with just the Israelites. Yeah, exactly. He's the donkey of the day for sure, right? The duck monkey of the day, if you will. So he Truth Unedited is a brother. I know Knock knows him. He could talk about him, right? Some of y'all came into the truth off this knucklehead, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? So if you take any offense, oh well, I mean, nah, I'm not saying you came into the truth off him, but you know, some people came off the truth off, came into the truth off of this guy. Other people came into the truth and watched his videos. They learned a little bit from him, or watched his videos, or stay in the spirit, or whatever it might be, right? Until he started showing he didn't know what the hell he was talking about. Started switching up, started showing that he was a twig swayed to and fro with every doctrine. Not a tree, but a twig, a piece of pine straw, if you will, right? Just swayed, just flown away by the wind, a big old gust, right? And it's taking him to La La Land, the world of Kuka Palooka, right? And he's gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and now believes that anybody could serve Yahuwah, right? When the Bible doesn't teach that, or at least he teaches that in your face. Because priest showed that, you know, he actually don't believe that, and that he does believe what we believe, but because it's bad for ratings and it could make him a target on Esau's, boo-boo list, he wants to teach all people can be saved and just let the Most High handle it at the end of the day. So he would rather deceive the people as opposed to teach them what the Bible actually says. And he wants us to teach them what the Bible actually says. But because we're the ones that actually have the people's ear, by and large, the Israelite camps as it is, right? Whether y'all like and understand it, believe it or not, he doesn't like that. It's clear and obvious. He wants to be the main voice of the Israelite community, right? So what he's trying to do now is make the camps the bad guys. He's had other videos where he's tried to do it and make it seem like we don't know what we're talking about. But then he takes debates with us and we make it seem like we do know what we're talking about and he don't know the Bible. So every time he's had a debate, it's backfired on him. So now, instead of debating, he's decided, I'm going to use my audience because my YouTube is bigger than all of theirs. I'm going to make them look like Freemasons. And I know that the vast majority of people think the word Freemason in itself means conspiracy, means Satan worship, means devilism. But it doesn't. For one, I'm going to explain that. I'm going to give you the facts today, the truth, whether you like it, understand it, believe it or not. And he knows that a lot of y'all aren't going to look things up like that due to the conspiracies behind just that word alone. So you're not going to figure out how deep any of these guys were into quote unquote Freemasonry. If they ever got to any degree that would make them, people that could learn things, secret, if you will, because his whole topic or reason for putting these videos out is to say, we've delivered the truth on a garbage lid or a garbage can, right? And he's saying we have the truth. We teach what the Bible says, but the way we present it is not a way that is going to make it appealing for everybody to come in. What he doesn't realize is, for one, it's not meant for everybody to come in. This is a thing for the 1/3. According to the curses of Deuteronomy, we're supposed to be a spectacle, right? Everybody doesn't want to join and get involved in a spectacle, right? We're supposed to be a nation not desired that has to gather together. Since when does everybody want to gather with the nation not desired, you duck monkey? So these are scriptures y'all know, right? Deuteronomy 28, 45 to 49. Zephaniah chapter 2, verses 1 to 3. Y'all know these scriptures, right? So I'm not going to go over that part today. Today, I want to go through this Freemasonry thing, right? I want to talk about it because no other Israelites have talked about it. Nobody's gone in depth with it to teach you guys about what it is, what it's about, right? Why so many of our elders and grandfathers and great-grandfathers were involved in it, and why they don't know ish. Why none of them knew we were Israelites. But somehow some knucklehead like Truth Unedited, who probably don't know nothing about Freemasonry either, could tell us that these guys who were Prince Hall Masons somehow were put up by the white man to tell black people that the white man is the devil and that they're going into captivity and that we're going to be the kings of the earth again. What white man is going to make black people do that? I don't know. But this is the logic of Truth Unedited and the people that believe his videos. So we're going to go into it today. I felt it was important to go through this angle of it so that you guys at least know about Freemasonry from somebody that was studying it, from somebody that infiltrated it when I was in college. I could give you the numbers of the people that go to the Prince Hall Lodge in Stone Mountain. I could tell you when they meet, the first Monday of every single month. I could give you the address that they go to. And ain't nobody gonna kill me because it's not a secret society. It's a freaking fraternity. And even Google searches would explain that to you. Because simple Freemasonry can only go to the first 3 degrees. You wouldn't learn anything secret until you're at least at degree 21. To get to degree 21, you have to be inducted into a rite. Right? So, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's let him say what he's going to say. Then we're going to teach you guys what we came to teach today. And then we're going to go.
But unfortunately, this is not a majority of the population today. So there will be backlash from those that are on one side of the fence or the other. It doesn't matter though.
And to make it clear, I'm not on one side of the fence or the other because we're not involved in Freemasonry, right? What I wanted to talk about was the fact that he's trying to lump all camps together or even talk about the camps that he thinks are Freemason camps. Because even if they are, right? Let's say, for example, just an example. Let's say that Bishop Nathaniel is a Prince Hall Freemason, right? Well, we have no proof of him being a part of the Scottish Rite, the Swedish Rite, or the French Rite. So if he's just a Prince Hall Mason, like Noble Drew Ali or like Wentworth Matthew, then he don't know anything secret. There's no secret anything that would happen there. Just a couple of old Egyptian rituals and story time on how to better yourself and your brother, fellow man. That's what the meetings are about every Monday, first Monday of the month. They go home, maybe order pizza, and then they go to the skating rink to end the night, or the club, or Olive Garden. God damn it. Like, it's a fraternity. Okay? But we're going to get into it.
For those who want the truth, regardless of how controversial and touchy the subject is, this is the target audience that I'm speaking to. And this topic is just something that cannot be avoided at this time any longer. The Hebrew Israelites are a topic that is surrounded by a great deal of opinion, depending on what side you are on. For instance, from the side of the Christians, the Hebrew Israelites are angry men full of hate that don't know what they're talking about, and they're consumed with race. And from the side of the Hebrew Israelites, the Christians are deceived people who lie to themselves about their feelings of race and their understanding of the Bible. You know, obviously there's more than that between the both of them. Now, I am not a Christian, and I am not a part of the camps or groups labeled as Hebrew Israelites. But because some of my views have some similarities with both sects, both Christians and Israelites, people want to view me as either one or the other, regardless of the fact that I have repeatedly tried to go out of my way to explain that I am not either. I am a full believer in the scriptures, though. The topic around the Hebrew Israelites and the truth surrounding them.
So that's the issue, right? When somebody says they know that Negroes are the Israelites, but then doesn't want to call himself an Israelite, that's the issue. Because Israelite has nothing to do with camps, has nothing to do with a doctrine. It's the nationality of a people that was taken from them. So if you believe yourself to be an Israelite, it shouldn't matter about any other group out there that calls himself an Israelite. You're an Israelite, right? If you're from the tribe of Judah, you have no problem calling yourself a Jew, even though there's a whole group of white people, ugly, pasty, dirty, stank breath, long nose, skinny faced white people calling themselves Jews and Jewish. Right? Actually, Howard Dawa and Yaniv, we seen one at camp on Saturday. He looked Jewish. I just yelled, Ataylo Yehudi. He turned around and did this. Like, damn. We didn't even know he just looked Jewish, and it turns out he was. Like, you could tell who they are. You could see them, right? And for some reason, our people ain't got no problem calling themselves Jews, even though them people are doing it. But truth and they won't call himself an Israelite because we're doing it. That's not an issue to y'all. That's not a red flag, right? Just saying.
Is one that needs to be understood because the underlying truth around them is one of the most important topics surrounding these times that we're in, the end times. But because of Satan and his lies and his provocations of the flesh, he has made this topic poisonous. And as we continue to move towards the times of the Great Tribulation, more and more we are going to see a cataclysm between these two groups, Christians and Hebrew Israelites. And what will happen is that from the outside, depending on what side you are on, you will only see it from that vantage point.
Now, hold on. How much you want to bet this nigga right here is a Prince Hall Freemason? The bald nigga. It look like a turkey. Right here. Nah, you there?
I could bet it.
How many times you seen a Mason look like this nigga? They just got the hat on.
Many times.
They drive a 2003 F-150. It's blue.
Mm-hmm.
It got 4 hubcaps and 1 rim.
Yep.
And y'all think this nigga knows something about the truth? He knows secrets? Are you serious? For real? Huh? This be what they look like. These are the Prince Hall Freemasons. And y'all think they know something that we don't know. Y'all think they sit in a little room with the little apron on and the gloves, and they be drinking people blood, talking about and then they be dancing in a circle with the maracas, shaking the maracas and stuff. Like, y'all think they be doing that? This nigga right here with the suit on and the turkey neck? I don't think so, bro. No. When he go to the Freemason meetings, he sit right in the rocking chair, right? With the apron on and the gloves. He asked them what time the wings gonna be here. And they sit down and talk about how their wives was nagging them last month.
Yep.
That's what they do at the Freemason meetings, bro. The same thing y'all niggas do when y'all go to y'all Alpha Kappa meetings, y'all Q Dog meetings. Yeah, when the women go to their Eastern Star meeting, it's just the fraternity and the sorority, guys. These niggas don't know no secrets. You have to be in a rite for that. And there's stipulations to be a Mason in a rite. Eating a ham sandwich. Exactly. With lettuce, cheese, feta, and boom boom sauce. It's the nastiest thing you ever seen. But he's eating it in the rocking chair, watching the Knicks game. That's what's happening. Okay? The first Monday. Right now. It's the first month. They there right now. They doing this right now. Okay? They don't know no secrets. He don't even have a beard. I think I only met 2 Masons my whole life that even had a beard. My great-grandfather ain't had no beard. They ain't even smart enough to have a beard. But y'all think they know secrets? Y'all crazy, bro. Y'all don't be thinking about some of the stuff y'all be saying when y'all be thinking about conspiracy theories. When y'all be making stuff up, y'all be trying to make people believe stuff. Y'all think these guys are the authors and the ministers of Satan? This nigga right here? Y'all crazy.
Point that you're trained to see it from. But you will miss the overall truth that both of these groups are sharing because you're only focused on the fight. And that is what is happening and what will happen even more as agendas persist. Let me ask you, have you ever seen one of those movies where the enemy was trying to keep people out of a certain area because they were keeping a big secret from everyone?
Hold on, my nigga. Hold on, Truth. I gotta do it. Cause I gotta ask y'all this, bro. What secrets you think these Negroes know? Huh?
Can you blow it up a little bit?
He kind of looked like Bishop. Let me stop. But look, yo, hold on. Let me see if this pull up right here.
Let me see if I can see that. Oh, there, that's
Oh,
good. Yeah, I can see it now.
hold on. Y'all can see that?
Yeah, we can see it. It's good.
Do he look like he knows some secrets? Him or the dude in the back? What you think they know that we don't know? Oh, wait, y'all can't even hold up. Wait a minute. Y'all can't see what I'm looking at. Hold on a second. Hold up a second. Hold on. Tell me this right quick. He look like he knows something you don't know not. Huh? Real talk.
I couldn't tell
This
you
is
what he
from
knows.
this is the actual Prince Hall Freemason website.
Yep. Eastern Star back behind him. Yeah, you right, Cap. All it is
This look like Bishop Nathaniel lost brother. And when I say lost, I mean lost for real, lost in the sauce.
Right. You're right. This is
Okay.
nothing but fraternities and sororities. That's it. It's another maybe glorified Greek system or something.
It's actually mixed with a little bit more Egyptology.
No,
Like,
I'm
same
yeah,
thing.
kind.
Right.
I'm just saying, envying the
Don't he look
oppressor.
like Bishop a little?
Somebody say look like Bishop.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, bro, he don't look like he know any secrets to me. I'm just saying.
Right.
I don't feel like I'm gonna just meet this dude and he gonna teach me something, fantastic. What about these niggas? They look like they know something you don't know. Yeah, this guy look like he don't know he not supposed to eat pork. This guy look like he want to be Egyptian, but he confused still. He's still trying to grow the goatee. He look like he gotta take a crap. He just looked like he confused. He ain't even looking at the right dude in the picture. He forgot to open his eyes. He looked like somebody breath stank. It might be his. He looked like Judge Mathis a little bit. He just fat. Like, and then we got the brothers with the beard. Like, yo, but I don't feel like I would learn anything from these dudes though. I feel like what Zebulon said, right? Octave said they like a bunch of they look like a bunch of Carlton, a bunch of Benjamins, a bunch of Jeffreys, a bunch of give me some Butler names. That's what they look like. Look like a sir. What do you need, sir? That's it.
Wow. Bunch of butlers.
Yeah, a bunch of hey, sir. What do you need, sir? How can I help you, sir? Can I take your drink, sir? Can I hold your coat, sir? That's all they look like.
Yeah. It's all in coon badges, coon cards, and
it's crazy, bro.
All that.
Y'all think these guys is the ministers of Satan. Y'all think they hold all the cards and they know something we don't know. It's appalling to me.
God.
Crazy, bro. Which one? Hold on a second. Let's see which one I'm trying to. This one? Nope. Yeah. All right, my bad. Move it right here. All right, cool. We good. All right. Here we go.
Poisonous zone or a radiation zone or something like that.
Don't worry, we're staying out of there.
In the movie, someone goes in by accident or another reason. It doesn't matter the reason. Eventually, there are people that eventually go through the zone and they find beauty, they find peace, they find the truth. And they learn that what was being labeled as poisonous and dangerous and what you were being warned to keep out of was just a lie to keep people away from the truth. There have been many movies that had that type of message built in. Well, that metaphor is exactly what the topic of the Hebrew Israelites is exactly like to the T. It's exactly why the group everyone knows as the Hebrew Israelites, why they even exist. They were made to be seen as poisonous and dangerous. And because of the people that are seeing this warning, they are subconsciously being told.
You see the wording? They were made to be seen as poisonous, right? So he's implying to people that watch this that we were created for a specific purpose. As if the government made us to tell the world that the white man is the devil. And to give them the proof that we could prove that the white man is the devil. To have so much history and artifacts and books that we would be able to provide actual, factual, hardline proof that they are the deceivers of the world. To the point where white people no longer say Jesus is white. They go, he's Middle Eastern. We know he doesn't look like us. Because they know what we're going to say if they try to say something different. Right? They know what the deal is. So these are things we have to realize, right?
Do not enter. And because of this, the majority of the people in this world continue to live in lies that will lead them to hell. Listen, let's be clear. I'm not talking about the subject because I want to, but because I have to. I believe we are in the final months before the tribulation starts. There are a lot of major radical moves happening that are all about changing this world, and they are moving in fast with it. This topic about the Hebrew Israelites is literally a major topic that Satan has manipulated on both sides in order to keep people out of the truth. And it needs to be handled and handled with care. And that is what I intend to do. I do not expect to make both sides, the Hebrew Israelites or the Christians. I don't think what I will say will make either happy. And I'm not catering to either. But I do believe that this is normally where the truth is found and it must be given. Either way, we will discuss the truth about the Hebrew Israelites. Let's begin. Okay. Now, I tried to play this clip from the Cosby Show to illustrate my point and where I'm going with this, but copyright restrictions wouldn't allow me, so I'm just going to summarize it. If you watched the Cosby Show back in the day, there was a scene where Vanessa came back from college engaged to an older man. His name was Dabnus. It was a funny episode, and I remember it well. I think most of us would. In that program, I always remembered what Bill Cosby said. He spoke to Dabnus, and he was speaking nice, but then he said,
and you'll just have to forgive us because we just don't like you.
And he told Dabnus it wasn't his fault because he is not to blame. He said, if you want to blame anybody, then blame Vanessa. And then he went into illustrating it by talking about food. He illustrated that, let's say Dabnus's favorite food was a juicy steak with all the fixings and was prepared for him. He's excited for it.
Smell the mushrooms, sauteed. Smell good. Boy.
But when it's presented to him, he doesn't put it on a plate. He takes the lid off a used garbage can and gives him the food on the garbage can lid.
And you sauteed mushrooms, and I give it to you. Not too appetizing, is it? It's in the presentation. That's the way she brought you here, on a garbage can lid.
It wasn't about the fact about their relationship and who Dabnus was. It was about the presentation. And you see, before I tie it all in, if you remember this whole situation, what happened after Bill Cosby started to get to know Dabnus? Yeah, he loved Dabnus, always sought him out after he got to know him. And you see, I believe that's the most perfect metaphor in understanding this topic about the Hebrew Israelites that I could provide. Let me break it down. Dabnus will be the truth that the Israelites represent. But the Hebrew Israelites are Vanessa. And what they have done is they have presented the truth on a garbage can lid and has made the truth seem poisonous, dangerous, not enticing, and not possibly anything to do with the truth. And therefore, it is something that should just be avoided. Let me explain a little bit more. There is an overall truth that the Hebrew Israelites represent. They are seen to be the poster child of this truth. And therefore, if you believe it, you must be tied to them and a part of them. That truth being that the Negroes scattered around the Americas, the Caribbean, Africa, Europe, Asia, all around the world. They are, in fact, the true descendants of Israel and are just a fulfillment of the prophetic curses our father, Yahuwah, promised Israel when he made a covenant with them.
All right. So he says that we present the truth on a garbage can lid. But we're the way he found out about it. We're the way a bunch of people found out about it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody going to the commandment keepers no more. Why he sound like Tom Du Bois from the Boondock? Because he makes that's funny. He didn't actually talk like this. You know what I'm saying? These are over recorded videos. He has a speech impediment. The man stutters more than I do, and his voice is a little bit more high pitched than that. He just articulates his words and carries his voice a certain way for the video, right? When you hear him in debate form, he doesn't sound like this. He sounds a lot more timid and he stutters. And I'm allowed to say that because I stutter. I have a speech impediment as well, the same one. So, yeah. Who's Yahuwah? I be asking the same question, Rose. Like, who the fuck they talk about? God damn, who is that?
Yeah, even the way he said that just didn't even. It sounded weird.
Yahuwah. And then you're gonna see when he says, "This is the confusion of the man," right? When he calls Israel Yasharel, he's gonna start doing that, right? In the next video, or it might be this one, but he's gonna start calling Israel Yasharel, right? The words Yashar are Paleo Hebrew. It comes from the elder I was telling you about, Karata Za'Allah, right? That's where you get those words from. Israel is spelled Israel to the other people, Israel, right?
Right.
Other people spell it with a Y. So they Israel, right? The Yasharal or Yasharallah come from us, the Paleo speaking Hebrew Israelites of One West, right? Wasn't nobody else using that. So it existed, but wasn't nobody else using it. The pronunciations, wasn't nobody else using it. So that's what you have to understand. So he's like, yeah, exactly. He's using Paleo Yiddish Ebonics. You know what I'm saying? Yasharel and stuff like that. Hebrew Israelite and Yahuwah. So gotta be careful with them type of people, man.
Scriptures like this.
But let's fast forward. Just want to get to the main thing because he's gonna say that we basically put a stain on the truth, right? So I want to be able to show you guys certain things that he gonna say, and then we're gonna get into the masonry thing, and then we're gonna get up out of here. Because like I said, main thing I want to show you guys is the claim of us being Masons and how the level of masonry that the guys that he's talking about were on, it shouldn't matter because it's no different than being in a frat. It's not alarming to y'all when people are, old fraternity people, when they used to be Kappas or they used to be Alphas or they used to be, whatever, Qs or what have you. Y'all don't be tripping about that because y'all know niggas wasn't doing nothing but stepping and hazing people. It's all this spookism around Freemasonry because you guys don't know nothing about it, right? So if you looked into it and realized, well, I don't know any of these guys that have called themselves Scottish Rite, because Scottish Rite Mason doesn't call himself a Freemason. He calls himself Scottish Rite. Somebody of the French Rite or the Swedish Rite, they're not going to call themselves Freemasons. They're Prince Hall. They're going to call themselves French Rite or Swedish Rite. It's a right to be able to say that. So when you're a Rosicrucian, you don't say I'm a Freemason Rosicrucian. You say I'm a Rosicrucian. When you're a Knight Templar, you don't say I'm a Freemason Knight Templar. You say I'm a Knight Templar. Right? So it's like the people y'all should be worried about, Skull and Bones, the white people like Dick Cheney and George Bush and all them folks, right? Halliburton's people. Remember when we did that lesson on that stuff that Judge Joe Brown was saying about old girl and the stuff he said about Barack and all of them, right? Like those type of people in them societies are the ones y'all should be worried about. Those are the real secret societies with the secrets, not fraternities. They don't tell you what fraternity Barack Obama's in, but you know about him being a Knight Templar, Rosicrucian, and a Skull and Bones member, the only black one. Yeah, I know he was. Never mind. So, but like these are things that people don't really look into. It's levels to this stuff, right? So y'all got to really dive into the levels to understand what's going on. But the level that this guy tried to put us on wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense for Abba Bivens to be a Prince Hall Mason and he's taught to go out there and make camps that are going to teach white people that we hate them and make the truth poisonous. That would go against Freemasonry for one, because Freemasonry's rule is to make it for all people. It's a fraternity. It's Catholicism for men only. Like, that's what it is. Catholicism for men only, because you can't be a woman in the Freemasons. Once you become a woman in that frat, they turned it into a sorority and they named it the Eastern Stars. It's the same thing though for women. And then they got their little, well, they don't really have rights and stuff like that. That's really as high they could go. But their husbands could join the rights and become other things, right? So that's where the secrets come. That's where the levels go. And I mean, again, I could talk about it because I not only tried to do the stuff myself as far as infiltrating it, I looked up everything. I met people that did it. My great grandfather was a Scottish Rite. This nigga right here, my cousin Walter, he's a Scottish Rite and a Knight Templar, and the guy that started the Kings of Comedy, right? You know, Steve Harvey's involved in this crap. He's a Boule member, right? Cedric the Entertainment, Boule member, right? So I don't know about DL Hughley. I ain't ever looked into his information and stuff like that. He ain't never been that important to me. But them two, at least I know for a fact, are Boule members, and they're also
Final power.
Mason. Huh? Yeah. And right. What's that fraternity called?
Kappa Alpha Psi. Yeah, Kappa
There
Alpha
you go,
Psi.
Kappa. So they also Kappas, as well as Walter, right? And I got a cousin right now trying to follow Walter in Texas. He just became a Kappa last year, right? He's a sophomore in college, and he's trying to go into the family tradition of selling out niggas, right? For a little bit of change. So that's what it is. So I actually talk about the stuff because I got people in my family involved in the crap, right? So again, if you want to know about it, you're supposed to talk to people that are actually involved in it. If you want to know what happened with One West and what's going on there, you're supposed to talk to the elders. You want to know about Freemasonry and the secret societies? Talk to niggas in them. They're easy to find. They're not that secret. Things they talk about, thing is secret, but to find the people in it, it's all public information. That's why I said when you look up Wentworth Matthew, he was just a freaking Prince Hall Mason. He couldn't go past the 3rd degree. You don't know nothing in the 3rd degree. It's like being in the 3rd grade. You don't know nothing in the 3rd grade. The degrees go to 33. If they go to 33, knock. Let me ask you something. Just logic, right? Because you ain't never been no Mason, right?
No.
You ain't never looked into it or tried it or nothing like that, right?
Well, I did.
Well, you looked into it. It's a lot of niggas.
I not in masonry. I went a little further in fraternities, but
okay. Well, all right. Well, frats. Okay, so cool. So, all right. But in this sense, right? If I'm telling you that masonry has 33 degrees, would it make sense for them to tell you everything you need to know at the 3rd one? Because then what the hell would you need to stick around for the other 33 for, right?
Right.
If you know everything by the time you get to 3.
Yeah, there's no point in staying for. I mean, yeah, you got 30 other steps to go.
Word. So let's do the public information thing right quick, right? let's do the Google searches and stuff and show people, because I mean it only makes sense to me. Let's remove the weight in the water. All right, bet. So Underground Railroad, we talked about that. Nat Turner, I don't need to talk. All right, bet. Prince Hall Masonry. So look. So no, a lot of y'all don't even know what this is, right? Prince Hall Masonry was founded in 1784, ladies and gentlemen. If Prince Hall Masonry, which is only for niggers, only for black people, was founded in 1784, but niggas by and large who have been involved in this secret society, quote unquote, for centuries, right? Since 1784, why don't all these Negroes know that they're Israelites?
Mm-hmm.
That's the world's biggest kept secret, right?
And they accept all those from different religions.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Because it's part of the rules, right? So this is Prince Hall Masonry. Let's dive a little deep into Prince Hall Masonry. Let's see what it's about, right? Why was it made? What the hell is the difference between a Prince Hall Mason and a Blue Lodge Mason, right? So Prince Hall Masons, Prince Hall Lodges began because Blue Lodges wouldn't accept blacks. That's what I typed in. AI says, yes, that's correct. Prince Hall Lodges were established primarily because traditional Masonic lodges, i.e. Blue Lodges, in many jurisdictions at that time did not accept black members. At this time, in 2025, most of them still do not accept black members unless you're Shaq or LeBron James.
Right.
And I told you guys, I live in Grayson, Georgia, right? There's a Blue Lodge, 2 of them, within 15 minutes of my house. I live in a formerly white area, right? As you see, Prince Hall Masonry started in 1784. Blue Lodge Masonry been around a lot longer than that, right? So they got lodges all around these old white hick towns, even if they're not white hick towns no more, and it's a bunch of black people in them, right? They still got the lodges there. And the white people still come from wherever they live now to go to them blue lodges that they used to go to when they lived over here, right? Sometimes they allow the upper class black people every now and then to go to the Blue Lodge to experience the experience among the white people, right? And there's a lodge literally 5 minutes from my house that you got to pass to go anywhere. Shaq be there sometimes. Shaq is not a man easy to miss. He's 7 feet tall, black, and Grayson. Lou Williams lives up the street. You know, the basketball player. He went to high school around the corner from me at the same high school I went to. So niggas live around here, right? Shaq live up the street. His nephew go to this high school I went to, and Lou Williams live down the corner, right? Both of them Masons, and you can see them at the place. 2 big ass black men. They're the only 2 black guys you'll ever see at the Blue Lounge. To see the rest of them, you got to go to the Prince Hall Lodge, because Prince Hall is for black people, right? You got to be upper class black folk to be at the Blue Lodge. You know, Shaq or Barack Obama or Snoop Dogg or something. Walter Latham, my cousin. Bill Cosby, Steve Harvey. Gotta be one of them guys to go to the Blue Lodge as a black person, right? So that's that. But that's why they were created, right? So reading on. In many jurisdictions at the time did not accept black members. Prince Hall, a free black man, because this is during slavery, mind you, right? And others who were denied membership in white Masonic lodges sought recognition and formal status for their own lodges. This led to creation of Prince Hall Freemasonry, a parallel system of Masonic lodges and its distinct history as a black fraternity. So for any of you guys that don't know, Freemasonry in its own right is not labeled a secret society when you know about it. It's labeled a frat.
That's right.
It is considered a fraternity. They accept men of all races, kindreds, kinds, and colors of all religions. The only stipulation is you have to be a man of some race, kindred, and color, and you have to believe in some religion.
Yep.
That is the only stipulations. You could be gay. You could be homosexual. Well, they the same thing. You could be transgender. You could be, as long as you liking yourself to be a man. If you a female that's a man now, you could be a Freemason. They're not going to check your drawers. It's a frat. If you make your voice deep, you good. Right? So, like, ain't no hazing.
Right.
They sit at the lodge and watch basketball together, order freaking Papa John's and eat hot wings. American Deli, touchdown wings or something. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Cry and whine about their wives and then go home to the wives. Like, that's what they do. So it's not no secret thing. You feel me? It's a fraternity. You have to go to a different level to be involved in the secret stuff, right? So let's dive a little deeper. because I'm not done. I'm gonna give you guys what it is. I'm gonna show you some things. So, Blue Lodges and Prince Hall Lodges learn the first 3 degrees. Watch this. Yes, both Blue Lodges and Prince Hall Lodges in Freemasonry confer the first 3 degrees. Entered Apprentice. That's the first one. Fellow Craft, meaning fellowshipping to learn the craft. That's the second one. Master Mason. Now you're allowed to teach the class. That's the 3rd degree. That's it. These degrees are considered the foundation of Freemasonry and are the same regardless whether the lodge is Blue or Prince Hall. Okay? So let's see if it's going to hold on. I got, yeah, all right, bet. So let's dive a little deeper. So they only got three degrees that they could do. Entered Apprentice, Fellow Craft, and Master Mason. Now watch. Rights only go past the 3rd degree. While Scottish Rite Freemason, I only typed in Scottish Rite because I wanted them to show you that there was more. So while Scottish Rite Freemasonry is one of the most well-known organizations that extends beyond the first 3 degrees, as you saw, Blue Lodge, which is what you see on the corner, where the white people go, only goes to 1, 2, and 3. Prince Hall, which is what you see on the corner, where the black people go with the hats in the truck, they only go to 3. Both of them, right? Now you're about to learn about the real guys in the secret societies. This is the real secrets, where they learn the stuff and do the rituals and all that crap. You got to be one of these guys, right? So Scottish Rite is a well-known organization that extends beyond the first 3 degrees of Freemasonry. It is not the only one. There is the New York Rite, or simply put, York Rite, Swedish Rite, and there's also the French Rite. So you have the York Rite, also have more than 3 degrees, right? Additionally, while the Scottish Rite 33rd degree is honorary, other Masonic rites existed historically with more than 33 degrees, but they were deemed irregular and are no longer recognized. Okay, so there's some people that got knowledge that nobody else is ever going to get again. Right? So it's like, now there's no proof that anybody past the 3rd degree, past Prince Hall or Blue Lodge, has ever been involved in a camp. We have Wentworth Matthew, who is a well-known Prince Hall Mason. Prince Hall only goes to the 3rd degree. At the 3rd degree, you won't learn anything other than how to start a crowdfunding organization or how to order hot wings for 20 grown men. That's it. That's the only thing you're going to learn. You're not going to learn about you being an Israelite because they're not allowed to talk about religion. Everybody has a different one. You're not allowed to talk about superiority, who's over who, right? Because everybody's equal in there. It's Catholicism and Christianity for men. And it's just the opposite when you become an Eastern Star if you're a female, right? Now, once you become a Mason, Blue Lodge or Prince Hall, you can elect to try out, if you will, to become a Rite member, right? York Rite, Swedish Rite, Scottish Rite in the United States. If you're accepted, if you're a Mason with 3 years of good standing and whatever other stipulations they got, then that means you can join. At that point, let's say you join the Scottish Rite. You go from 3rd degree to 4th degree. And then you have to study to show yourself approved to reach any of the other degrees. Because it's not just a thing where you go in there and you just get it. You have to learn and study stuff. You have to read books. That's how you get the hidden knowledge. The same way we read books and stuff, right? It's just like being an Israelite. You only know what you taught yourself, or what you were able to research, or what you were able to find. You take a test based on the certain knowledge that they say you should learn at each degree. And if you pass the test, you get the next degree. All the way to 33. That's how it works. If you become a 33rd degree Mason, that just means you learned the knowledge, read the books, and all that type of stuff. It's not no crazy blood drinking rituals at this level. You probably got to be a Knight Templar for that. Because if you know anything about them back in the day, they actually had rituals like that. That's why the cross is red and they wear all white. That's where the KKK got their burning ritual from. Those are rituals to be worried about. There's nothing like that in Freemasonry. Knight Templarism is not a form of Freemasonry. It's just a secret society. There's no right that gets you to Knight Templarism. There's no right that gets you to Rosicrucian. There's different things you got to do for that. One of them, you probably got to kill somebody. Another one, you got to stab a president. I don't know what the hell the damn deal is. But it ain't no, you just go and join like you can a Freemason lodge. Literally, any of you niggas could do it. Y'all could go and fake apply right now. You could go tomorrow morning, knock on the door of the lodge. The little white man or the little black guy gonna open the door. He gonna ask you what your name is, and he gonna give you the piece of paper to apply, and then you sign it and you leave. And then they gonna call you back when it's time to have a meeting, because they ain't there all the time. And when you go in there for the meeting, it ain't gonna be a bunch of lit candles with a big old circle and a star in the middle, and niggas with devil horns and cow mask on with a big old puddle of blood in them. No, it ain't none of that. It's a big ass TV. It's a football or a basketball game on. Niggas playing music in the back. You smell barbecue chicken wings. Niggas got Tecate, Corona, Bud Light, margaritas. And they sitting there arguing about how their wife didn't rub their back last week and pick their toenails. Like, that's what they doing the whole night until it's time to go home. How do I know? Because I went to one. Like, duh. So, yeah, that's that. All right. So you have to be in a right in order to get to the 33rd degree. Just being a regular Prince Hall Mason or a Freemason in the Blue Lodge doesn't get you any secrets. Doesn't get you anything past the 3rd degree. So I want to make that clear so that you guys know that. Some of you might have this question before we close out. Yes, black people joined the Scottish Rite. As I told you, my great-grandfather was one. Walter's one. Shaq is one. You see niggas here, that's some. Right? These Negroes right here might know some secrets.
My grandfather was too.
But then again, as I was about to say, and since Knox says his grandfather was one, he could probably attest to this. Just because you a Scottish Rite don't mean you know crap either.
Nope.
Okay. My great-grandfather was a Scottish Rite. His best friend. No. My great-grandfather was a Scottish Rite. And then my grandfather had a best friend that was an Israelite. My grandfather wasn't in Masonry or nothing like that. But my great-grandfather never got into it. So it's like, it would have been an easier path for my family to make the connection. You know what I'm saying? If they actually was teaching that niggas was Israelites when you become a Scottish Rite Mason. But they don't.
They don't tell you nothing.
They don't teach you that.
Wouldn't that be
That's why Knock granddaddy didn't know that, and my granddaddy didn't know that. Right, Knock?
Right. And isn't that supposed to be the hidden knowledge that they're supposed to give you, right?
That's supposed to be the hidden knowledge. They're supposed to tell you, that we was the first people on earth. Mahatma Gandhi was black. George Washington was black. Everybody was black. Right. and Jesus is supposed to come back in the year 2033 on April 15th. Because they know everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's the hidden knowledge you're supposed to get when you become a Scottish Rite Mason or York Rite Mason or something like that, right? But it don't work like that, guys. I'm sorry you're disappointed. But if you meet one, the most secret thing they're going to be able to show you is they handshake. Hold on just a second. Say something for me now.
God. Yeah, and I was just going back on how I had learned that my grandfather was a part of masonry, and some of the things that he used that my mother would tell me is that he didn't stay in it that long. He kind of figured he went from that. Well, he was already a Baptist minister. He went from that into masonry, and then came out of masonry, and then went into becoming a Pentecostal pastor. But yeah, just from one bad idea to the next.
Hey, Azariah, was you a Mason? Did you dabble in it? He talking about the dues and stuff. So it's like he could probably tell you too if he was in it. Right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, he said them dues become higher and higher.
It's not what you think it is.
Right.
All this spookism is just spookism because they know you're not going to join to find out what it is for real.
Oh, I'll be right back. I got something I want to show you. Hold on.
All right, go ahead.
Well, go ahead. I'll go get it. I'm gonna grab it.
So it's like, that's what y'all got to understand, man. I'm sorry you're disappointed that it's not as scary as y'all thought it was and all this type of crap, but it's like, it's real secret societies. Let me show you. Let me show you who they are. Hold on. Let me show you who the real guys that you need to worry about are. The guys that actually know who we are, right? Now, if it would have been some type of tie to an Israelite leader to these groups, then I'd be like, okay, all right. Yeah, you got that, right? They have Freemasonry up here, but you have to know that when we get into that, they're talking about the rights, and they really don't know nothing unless they're at a certain degree. So the real ones, you got Skull and Bones. Every president has to be a member of the Skull and Bones. There's certain things they know that we don't know, right? Every president. Donald Trump is now a member of the Skull and Bones. Barack Obama, the only nigga that's a member of the Skull and Bones, which we know. Well, I guess he is technically a nigga, but yeah. Anyway, so he's with the Skull and Bone. Every president, right? The Bilderberg group, right? They're the upper class version of the Templars, right? The ones that make the decisions for the Templars. They got the Illuminati, which just means illuminated ones, which would kind of be all of these people. That's just another misconception, right? Just same as Freemasonry. These two are the face, the shadow faces, if you will, for all these other people, because they make y'all think that Freemason and Illuminati is these things you got to worry about. Illuminati is not really a real thing. It just means illuminated. It comes from the book of Baruch, the word, right? Chapter 4. You should read it. I believe verse 3 or 4, right? That's where the word comes from. And it's in reference to the Israelites. It's telling us to be illuminated. Stay within the light of the law, light of the knowledge, right? The oracles of God. So that's the Illuminati, those that know what's going on, illuminated ones, the illuminaries, right? The ones with the light, the knowledge. So Knight Templars, they're the ones that do the dirty work for the Bilderberg group, right? Knight of the Golden Circle. They're a fraction of the Knight Templars. Kind of like how you got the Fruits of Islam and the Nation of Islam, right? They're one and the same, just more dirty work doers for the Bilderberg group. The Ordo Templi Ordinitis, right? A secreter society of the Bilderberg group. Ancient order of Hibernians, right? Like it just sound, you ain't ever heard of this one before. That's how secret they is. Bohemian Club, right?
Heard of Bohemian
This
Club.
is part of the club that helped with the slave trade and everything like that. Independent Order of Odd Fellows. I ain't gonna lie, I don't even know who the hell these niggas is. So they gotta be.
I do. I know
is?
who they are. It's another organization. I'm not sure where it founded, but we have plenty of the Odd Fellows in my hometown.
Oh, ain't that a damn
in Indiana? Yep.
Okay, well look, hey, Odd Fellows, Knights of Malta, right?
Yep.
They're like wannabe Knight Templars. They're like the lower level. So the Freemason class, if you will, of the Knight Templars is the Knights of Malta. The Ku Klux Klan They're the racist people that could get into any of these groups if they do any of the crazy crap. So like you got the Prince Hall Masons is the black way that you could get in, or fraternities is the black way that you could get in, right? When you white, if you're lower class trailer trash, you get in through the Ku Klux Klan, right? If you upper class, most likely your family might be a part of the Bohemian group, or you might got a daddy that went to Harvard and he's with Skull and Bones or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it goes. Or he went to Yale and he's a Rosicrucian. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that. Like the Sicilian Mafia, Knights of Pietas, the Ecclesian Society, Moose International, Opius Die, Priori Scion, right? Which is a Jewish secret society. They got the our symbol, the flower de lis, in captivity, as you see, right? So you ain't heard of that one before, but y'all heard about Freemasonry.
Right. All right, let me show.
My bad. Go ahead.
No, I got something for you. So look what I got, right? And I'm gonna see if you guys can actually see it. Can you hold on? Matter of fact, let me take the background off.
Let me take this off.
Take this background off. Real quick. All right. Can y'all see this? I'm gonna zoom it in. What does it say?
Masonic edition, Cleopedic
cyclopedic.
Yeah, cyclopedic index.
Right. So I'm gonna show you something here what it has in this actual Bible. Don't ask me how I got this. I kind of already brought it up, right? What do you see? Certain symbolism.
Oh yeah, we see that. I see the fleur de lis. I see the crown in the. Is that a crown and a cross?
Yeah.
I see the G and compass.
Yep.
Wow, they got it on the altar with the candlesticks. They got okay, they got the bells.
You see the black and white floor, the tile floor.
Yeah, the tile floor. Yep.
Yeah.
Standing on your square.
Now they got this as the Holy Bible, and this is from my grandfather he was a Mason. This is one of the books that they received, right, or the Bible they received. So, but check out on the front of the Bible. And then there's the as you can see, the Freemason symbol. Yep, with the compass and the So just to let you know that some of our ancestors.
Well, I'm glad you showed that, because that there's proof of my final point, right? That I want to make. Because
good. See,
I'm sure y'all watched the video, so we ain't got to get into everything he said as far as the Mason thing, because we already know that's what the claim was, right? Him saying that we Masons. So, main thing I want to do is just show y'all. Even if brothers was Prince Hall Masons, it wouldn't mean that they learned some secret thing from the white man that made them teach that we the Israelites.
Right.
For one, it wouldn't make sense for the white man to teach us that we're the Israelites if we're actually the Israelites, because then you're helping us get to the salvation that's going to end your kingdom. Truth Unedited doesn't believe in the whole Bible, so he doesn't realize if the white man, the fact that he can't get salvation, doesn't matter how much he sought it with tears, he can't get it, right? So the fact that he can't get it, it wouldn't make sense for him to tell us about what would give us salvation, because then it would bring his kingdom down. That would mean he has less time on the planet than he should have in his mind, because he gave us the answer to the question we've been looking for. He helped us finish the test. That don't make no sense.
Right.
So, that's a lie. And the point was to show y'all, even if brothers were Prince Hall Masons, which I told you we could find proof of that, a lot of niggas is Prince Hall Masons, especially back during this time, because they wasn't going to college to join frats. So one of the main ways of brotherhood in the black community was to join a freaking Mason lodge. Right? Wasn't gang banging a thing back then. So niggas was joining the lodge, especially when you free black men. That was something that gave you pride. You able to do something that the white people was able to do. They got the Blue Lodge, we got the Prince Hall Lodge. It wasn't nothing about y'all trying to make it this spooky thing. It was a frat, bro. It was a place to brotherhood, place to fellowship.
Right.
And it stayed that until niggas got TV and turned it into something else. So when Abba Bivens is on the scene, when Marcus Garvey's on the scene, because Marcus Garvey a Prince Hall Mason, people don't talk about that.
Mm-hmm. A lot of the leaders, slack it, Cap, but a lot of our so-called leaders here in America are those who were trying to fight for civil rights and equal rights and those things were a part of fraternities. I mean, that's just what it is. You know, Martin Luther King, right? Maybe not like Malcolm, but Martin Luther King, he was Alpha Phi Alpha, right? And probably may have dibble-dabbled with
Islam, if you will, is like a damn fraternity.
yeah, exactly, yeah. And he may have dibble-dabbled with Freemasonry, because I do know that once you go into the Black Greeks, right, system, you'll be approached by brothers from Freemasonry.
Yeah,
because a lot of those brothers in Freemasonry come from fraternities.
Yeah,
from the college fraternities, Greek fraternities.
Exactly, and it's the same concept because they know that it's the same. It's like the same type of thing.
Yep.
So, yeah, definitely facts. So, now there was a part. Damn, I might have to play this part because I want to show that this nigga was lying about some stuff. So, let me do this right quick. Real quick, guys. Real quick.
Octave says that Garvey knew he was an Israelite also. Garvey
knew he was an Israelite because he worked hand in hand with Wentworth Matthew and people like that, the commandment keepers.
God.
Which I'm gonna show you guys because that's one of the things that this nigga lied about. This duck monkey here, right? He tried to liken Wentworth Matthew, which is the dude that Abba Bivens went to go fellowship with. He tried to liken him to Noble Drew Ali, which Noble Drew Ali is a known Scottish Rite Mason. He was one of the first black men to become Scottish Rite up in New York, right? Where it started. So, and he was accepted by the Jewish people, Noble Drew Ali, which is why the Moors teach 3 fractions of Moorish science, right? They have the Moabite, the Canaanite, and the Israelite. They got the Israelite idea, not because it was something that Noble Drew Ali had at the beginning. He started with thinking we were Egyptians. And then it turned into him thinking we were Moabites because he found out about those people. Then when he meets folks like Marcus Garvey, he meets folks like Matthew, like Wentworth Matthew. He meets folks like Abba Bivens. Then he decides, okay, we're going to add the Israelite fraction into it too. But if you've ever spoken to them more, they don't know much about Israelites. So, because it's not something that they actually had as far in they in their book, ain't nothing about the Israelites in the 7-letter Quran, because it was something that Noble Drew Ali adopted later. That's knowledge he adopted from people he met in New York. Nothing he came up with on his own. That's why Taj Tariq Bey don't talk about that stuff, because he know it ain't nothing that the homeboy came up with on his own. He learned it from us. So Wentworth Matthew is a Prince Hall Mason. Noble Drew Ali, who made more science, is a Scottish Rite Mason. What dude is going to try to do in this video is say that Noble Drew Ali taught Wentworth Matthew, who taught Abba Bivens. That's not true. We heard from Priest Daniela earlier say that Abba Bivens already knew the truth before he met Wentworth Matthew. He come from the South. He already knew he was an Israelite, and he believed in Christ. Wentworth Matthew knew he was an Israelite, but he's Old Testament only. So their foundation is not the same. One did not learn from the other, or vice versa. So Wentworth becomes cool with Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey being somebody who had a relationship with Noble Drew Ali, because Noble Drew Ali was a member of the NAIA, or whatever that thing was called. that Noble G. Ali had, and he made the national anthem for them. Noble Drew Ali, he made the anthem for Marcus Garvey's group. That's how they know each other. So at one of the meetings, Marcus Garvey introduces Alba Bivens and Wentworth Matthew to Noble Drew Ali. Public information. What dude did, Truth Unedited, is the same thing that that Vocab Malone tried to do. Tried to say that just because they met one time in history, that they learned that Alba Bivens or Wentworth Matthews somehow learned from Noble Drew Ali, who was Scottish Rite, and that he taught them to teach that the black man was the king of the earth and that the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, when Moorish science didn't teach that. So those are things you got to take into account. So we're going to prove that right now.
Ignorant of the fact.
And after this, I'll let y'all go.
The Hebrew Israelite camps do a form of good in their communities. But what I am saying is that that good is no different than what is done in the Christian churches. The Israelites are just a better example because at least they teach the youth who they are. But the problem is the foundation that they teach from. And believe me, if all of this was inconsequential and didn't matter, there would be no reason to discuss this. But there are huge implications. And if it's not fully communicated, how would people know? I have gone through a great deal of history of the Masonic foundation of the Israelites. Information that is not shared by the camps, and it's pretty much ignored. As they speak about Esau, as they reject the Cometics, as they speak about the Illuminati, why is there so little discussion about the major opposition against humanity leading us to the worship of the beast? Freemasonry is not an inconsequential topic. It is a religion that is leading the masses to the beast. All Masons have a role in it. And just like there are Masonic pastors in the Christian churches, it has been proven that the Israelites also have Masonic leaders in their history. And listen, if they...
You see this?
Hold
on.
It's like there are Masonic pastors in the Christian churches. It has been proven.
So look, watch this. I want to show you guys what he says. This is Noble Drew Ali, for those of you guys that don't know. This is the man that made Moorish science, right? He says, born in Barbados, immigrated to Harlem in 1910. He was also a Scottish Rite Mason. He served as a master of the Lemon Lodge, and it says he learned everything he knew of Hebrews from Judaism and Ashkenazi Jews in America.
That the Israelites also have Masonic.
He claimed that his Judaism contained a Kabbalistic element which demonstrated its validity, although the Kabbalistic seals in his notes are copied, errors and all, from the 19th century occult work, also adopted, which that has to be notes from like Vocab Malone, because I don't even know how they would be able to prove that if they've never seen the book. Also adopted some of the doctrines of New Thought from his Harlem peers. How would you be able to do that? Because the New Thought is not teaching anything New Thought. He teaches the same thing that the Jewish people teach, the non-messianic ones. He's Jewish. Nothing new about their thought process. There's been non-messianic niggas since we were around in Israel. So what new thought is he talking about? These are Old Testament Israelites. This is the man that founded the Commandment Keepers, Wentworth Matthew. He's an OT only. There's nothing new thought about OT only, my nigga. Y'all still use Yahuwah. He claimed that he could tell an individual which tribe of Israel they descend from by inspection of their physical features. Now, I ain't going to deny that because sometimes I could do that. I'd be like, yo, what tribe you from? You from Manasseh? And they'd be like, yep. You from Judah? Yep. Oh, you Asher? How'd you know I'm Colombian? Like, yeah. So that could happen. I ain't, but I'm going to let him say something about this guy and Noble Drew Ali, and I'm going to prove something.
Masonic leaders in their history. And listen, if the Israelites were truly about shaking off the influence of the enemy and shaking off Esau, as they refer to the white man as, Why wouldn't they be exposing one of the main tools that the European oppressors have used to integrate the true descendants of Yasharel through? Understand this.
So wait.
I'm having a hard time.
So this is what I mean, right? Because he knows that y'all don't know jack squat about masonry, he could just say anything he wants.
Exactly.
Have they been using Freemasonry to lie to the people, or have they been using Christianity, my nigga?
Christianity all day.
And as we said, you don't have to be a Christian to be a Mason. You could be a Muslim.
That's
I
right.
guarantee you these brothers with beards are not Christian. They're Muslims. The ones without the beards are most likely the Christians. So you can be anything to be a Mason. How could that be something that is swaying the people? If the majority of black men in America have not been Masons, how could this be the thing that has swayed the people and hidden? How is that thing that the white man's been using to sway the people and hide the truth from them for centuries? How could it be Freemasonry and not Christianity? If black people don't participate in Freemasonry by and large, you know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. If black people don't know nothing about Freemasonry by and large, and they think it's spooky instead of a fraternity, so they don't even know the foundation of it, how then could it be the thing that's been used to sway them and to trick them? They know the ins and outs of Christianity. They know all the doctrines of the Christians, front to back, even though none of them are written in the Bible. Not one. They all know the doctrines of Christianity, though. Not one of them know anything about Freemasonry. So it's crazy. You was about to say something, not?
No, I'm just saying you brought it right out. He's able to bring up this stuff about Freemasonry because most of those coming into knowing that they're Israel have no clue what he's trying to connect here. They know nothing about Freemasonry or know very little. So I'm sitting here listening to him and it's just like, what's your point, dude? Like, you're not even making really a point. You're just saying things just to sound like you're intelligent and to make it seem as if there's some agenda behind camps coming together and coming back to their nationality and heritage, because Freemasonry doesn't teach you to keep the laws and commandments. Nope. So I'm trying to figure out what's your point? I don't see camps, and the camps that we that we may congregate with, or those that we may associate with, those that may get along, those that may not get along. For the most part, those that come out of One West, we're teaching the commandments. And I don't know if his points is for brownie points to get. I mean, he already has a following. And maybe at this point in time, he's just he's an op. He's a coon. I don't know, but it's just a pointless. And he did a four-part series on this too.
He did 4 parts to try to prove that we're Israelites and that the white man put us up to make the truth look bad. So the white man put us up to teach that the Bible is the black man's book, Hispanic Native American man's book, and that we are the true chosen people of the planet, that the Most High Son is only coming back to save us. Salvation is only of the Jews and the Israelites, and that we will be putting our oppressors who held us in captivity in oppression and captivity.
Okay, so with all that being said, is that the truth though?
Yeah.
Man, this dude is cooned out.
It is the truth, and he'll say it's the truth, but for some reason, the white man put us up to saying it, he claims.
I don't even care about that.
And it's like, if he did, it's the truth.
Right, it's the truth.
So what's wrong with it? But then it's like he didn't.
This nigga's scared.
So you're lying.
This nigga's scared. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. He realized he got a big following. And as he kept saying at the beginning in the other video, I don't like when people try to lump me together with these camps, because he thinks that they're going to try to start a race war using us.
Yep.
And he might be lumped in it. He think they might pull up to his house one day and be like, we got to get this truth unedited nigga. He's one of them Israelites in the camps, and he's got a big following. So he's scared they're going to wake him up one day, bust in his house like Breonna Taylor, and shoot him and his boyfriend. Yeah.
There is no organization that has more influence within the Negro community than the Freemasons.
What?
No organization.
Oh, did he just say
that? Did he just say that we're one that? Take that back.
Because I missed that the first time. I didn't know he said that. Oh.
Understand this. There is no organization that has more influence within the Negro community than the Freemasons.
All right. That's
Wait.
I like to hear his explanation after that, because that makes no sense. But I'd like to hear his explanation.
Don't the
of why he
NFL
said
got
that.
more influence on niggas than Freemasonry?
Yes.
The NBA?
Yes.
The MLB?
Yes.
The WWE?
Yes.
What the hell is this nigga talking about?
I mean, YouTube, Facebook.
YouTube?
There's many different avenues and different
Facebook?
channels. Yeah.
Instagram?
You don't. Freemasonry is almost like an old antique
Kung
boys
Fu fighting?
boys club or something. You know, to the society today.
Bitcoin societies? The Twitter universe?
Mm.
Like, nigga, what?
Yeah, this brother, man. I remember watching this brother back, about good 9 some years ago. But this brother then went off, man.
And people
I don't.
believe this.
Right. I just don't see his all this. He made a 4-part video about camps, the One West camps, coming from and getting our information started with Freemasonry, or the foundation of what we bring out and teach comes from Freemasonry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to find the connection. I mean, everybody's dibble dabbled in certain things, but to say that the foundation of the movement or the spreading the knowledge of this truth is based off of what Freemasonry created and caused and propagated so that we could look bad to our people, but we're telling our people what the Bible says, which is to keep the commandments if you want to live. That's crazy.
It is crazy. It's real crazy. Because, bruh, it's just, man.
Whose side is he on then? I'm confused with him.
He's on his own side. What you mean? It ain't nothing to be confused about. He ain't on nobody's side but his own. He said that. I'm not a Christian or Israelite. I'm me.
Oh yeah, he did say at the beginning. He just said I'm a believer in the scriptures, right?
He just a believer in the scriptures, right?
He lying.
And he don't even believe the scriptures because he think white people could be saved.
Yeah, that's a lie. I was saying he's lying. That's a lie. He don't believe in the
He
scriptures.
knows that we were taken into captivity by the white man. If we're the Israelites, this is supposed to be our last captivity because we're currently now in the land of the north. We are in Arzareth, right? We're gathered together with the other tribes, which would be the northern kingdom. So this has to be the last captivity. The people that were taken into captivity in the last captivity are supposed to be Edomites. He wants us to believe that these white people who we were taken into captivity to in this last captivity are Japhet, or somehow not Esau. But Japhet is not supposed to have Israelites in a mass captivity for 400 years.
Where is that at?
It's not in the Bible that he
Right.
claims to be a believer of the scriptures of. So you got to make that make sense to me. How is it that Japhet is never talked about as having us in captivity like that? In fact, Japhet is supposed to be, he's supposed to dwell in the tents of Jacob.
Isn't there? Oh, Salaki Cap.
No, go ahead. What was you going to say?
Isn't there a book dedicated to Esau?
There's a bunch of books dedicated to
No,
Esau.
isn't there? I'm talking about one book. There's one book that's just dedicated to Esau. I don't see any books that have anything that's dedicated to just one. Yeah, I don't see any for Japhet.
Me neither. Yeah,
You know?
that's a good point. There's no book that says Japhet is going to be burned for putting us in captivity. There's no book that says Japhet destroyed the brotherly covenant. And last I checked, the white people is the only people that we know did that in recent time, besides Africans. But we know who they are. They're Ham.
The people of the Most High has an indignation forever. Like who's the worst enemy? Who's the worst enemy?
In Amos 1, Ham and Esau get punished for selling the Israelites back and forth, not Ham and Japhet.
Right.
So if we know we the niggas that was sold and we know who was doing the selling, then how you gonna tell us we don't know who the white man is if he was one of the men doing the selling? He can either be Ham or Esau. That's it. That's it. And we know who Ham is. So by default, who would that mean is Esau? You know what I'm saying? These are the same questions we would ask to Ron Dalton, duck monkey behind, but you know he don't like.
And I believe some of that comes from when they talk about, because I know he's talking about the Ashkenazi, right? The Ashkenazi Jew, right? That's a confusion. I think on their end when they hear that term Ashkenaz, right? Because that is that a son of Gomer? Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
Brother, I think if he's not a son of Gomer, he's a brother of Gomer.
So they're looking at that as, oh, see, that's not Esau, that's not Edom, that's not Jacob, you know, but don't realize that that name comes from the location of where these people were living at a certain point in time.
Yeah, and they go, well, they're Ashkenazi Jews, so they must be Japhet.
Right.
Well, y'all don't realize they took the name Ashkenazi Jews because Germany wasn't always called Germany.
God.
To some places it was called, you know what it was called? Ashkenaz. Dan, when they were at the Danube River, as the Danes, them people I taught y'all about that I come from, we wasn't calling Germany Germany. That's a new name. It used to be called Ashkenaz. So for the Russian, German, Jewish people that are over there, decided to follow through with the Balfour Declaration and pretend that they're the Israelites. What did they call themselves? Ashkenazi Jews.
Right.
It's to say German Jews, but German wasn't the word they were using. They were using Ashkenaz.
Right.
That's all it means. It's another word for Germany. So, like, they're calling themselves German Jews. And Germany's not in Israel or near Israel. You know what I'm saying?
Japhetic Jew. That sounds crazy.
Yeah, but that's what it is. Ashkenazi Jew is a Japhetic Jew.
That's right. That sounds crazy.
So, you know. But let me finish this so we could get up out of here.
God.
No organization. Integration with the European oppressors would not have been possible without the influence of Freemasonry.
What the fuck? Oh my Salakia. What in the world is he talking about? Integration in slavery wouldn't have been possible without Christianity, you freaking idiot. What is he talking about? Are you serious?
Yeah, this brother.
Bro.
It is a part and a tool of the hidden hand that controls this world and religion. But as the Israelites preach and they teach, how much teaching do you see about the Masons? I challenge you to do Google searches and look up
Now you have one.
Wow.
And I'm going into it to show you. There's no reason for us to teach about the Masons because it has nothing to do with what we teach.
Right. This brother, what's his name? Truth Uneducated. Unedited. He needs to go back. I'm his presentation. Wait a minute, this is part 4, right? You've only shown just the part 4, right? You haven't shown all the rest.
I showed the first video we showed was
the first one was part 1. Okay.
Yep, and we only played like 15 minutes of it, and then this is part 4.
Okay, I didn't realize. I see at the top now. I didn't realize it was all continued. You know, you were showing different ones. Okay.
Yep, he's showing different things and saying different stuff, and it's all about us being Masons and stuff he can't prove. In one of the videos, he was talking all this maybe, if, and possibly, coulda, sorta, woulda. I was never part of the camp, so I don't know for sure, but it seems this way. Like all these hypotheticals. That's why you heard Prince Daniela in the video with Deacon.
Right.
He was like, yo, like he's talking all this hypothetical stuff. It's because you wasn't there, nigga.
Right.
And that's what it is.
Now, just for the audience sake and those who may be hearing this for the first time and maybe in the room for the first time wondering what is a Hebrew Israelite, I have a question, Cap. Do we have a certain level of degrees in our camp? So you mean by my 3rd year I won't have
degree captain?
Well, I'm saying, am I a 3rd degree officer? What's after my 3rd year? I guess. Am I getting some kind of?
You become a 25th degree captain of officer of 25, 25,000.
So if they want to use like, because some of the camps will say, officer of 10, officer of 50. I mean, that's in the Bible. That's in the Bible. That's the scriptures. That
What
has
they
nothing
not
to
telling
do.
you, Ak, is when you become an officer of 50,000 in the ISUPK, you also become a master mason of the York Rite, and you automatically get your honorary 33rd degree, and you get to put it on your patch. That's why you get to wear leather. No, I'm playing.
Wow.
That's not.
Yeah.
Y'all, man, that's not a thing. That's not a thing.
No, not at all.
It's not a thing. So, oh man, I gotta let him bring this stuff out there. Hold on.
Interviews of all the Israelite teachers and look up how little Freemasonry is discussed and exposed. Why?
One more time. We don't need to discuss Freemasonry because it has nothing to do with the Bible. We teach the Bible. Freemasonry has nothing to do with the Bible. Freemasonry has nothing to do with why we were in captivity. Freemasonry has nothing to do with how we're going to get out of captivity. Freemasonry has nothing to do with the influences we put on our people. We're not influenced to kill our people through rap music by Freemasons. We're not influenced to dress like Sexy Red and Meg Thee Stallion and all that type of crap through Eastern Stars. No, nigga.
It makes no sense. Freemasonry does not teach you how to keep the laws of God. It still teaches you to keep Christmas, to follow Ramadan, to celebrate Ash Wednesday, all these mixtures of different religions.
You know why? Because that's Christianity.
Doctrines. Right.
That's all Christianity. And most of the Masons are Christian. There's a couple Muslims in there. I don't know any of them that's Buddhist. You can be Buddhist, but I don't know any. You can be Hindu, but I don't know any. I've never seen Sanjay Dutt or his daddy come out of a lodge before.
Right.
I've never seen it. Not saying they don't exist. There's probably some East Indian, I ain't never seen Kamala Harris' mama family come out of a lodge, though.
Right. It's just another man-made false convert religion. And that's what it is. It's a form of white supremacy, at least for here in America. Yep.
And we know white supremacy is only for black people or white people. It ain't for everybody else.
Right.
So, what are you talking about, bro?
Right.
It's crazy.
Are they not exposing the biggest known religion of the devil in this country and in this world that has taken down Yasharel and is one of the
bro? And then he said Yasharel. Y'all heard that right?
Yeah, it's starting to bother
In part 1, he's saying Israel. By part 4, he's saying Yasharel. He didn't got confused within 4 parts of his own video. It took him 2 weeks.
Wow.
2 weeks to start saying the words like us. I guess many people was putting Yasharel or Yasharal or something like that in the chat, so he started saying it Yasharel. But yeah, so let me fast forward a little bit because I want to try to see this. Hold on. Here we go.
The Hebrew Israelite movement. That is not something that you need me to answer for you. You just have to ask questions for yourself and think for yourself. If there are people that claim to be in the truth, why are there truths that they are ignoring? Also, here's another perspective. Why are they also set up so similarly to other Masonic organizations like the Jehovah's Witnesses?
What are we set up similar to Jehovah's Witnesses? And what makes the Jehovah's Witnesses Masonic? Besides Christianity. The Jehovah's Witnesses are a church. A stupid church. But a fraternity and a church are 2 different things. Masons are a frat. You wouldn't liken the Kappas to a church or to the Jehovah's Witnesses.
No.
Like, it's crazy. He could just say anything and y'all don't even punish him for it. Y'all don't even question what he says. Y'all just let him say this crap.
How many views did he get on this thing?
100,000.
Are you serious? What?
Ever analyze the Hebrew?
Man, people are that thirsty for a lie.
Okay, this one got 52K, but the one before?
No, I see it. 111,000 for part 1.
Views for part 1.
Part 1. That's wild.
Yeah.
All for a lie. People are just jumping to find out, just to find something on us to just make us
the enemy.
Now we're all Masons. Enemy numero uno. Numero uno. Yep.
Yep.
That's wild.
And when you look it up, like, because when people hear the word Mason, they don't ever do research to find out what that is. That's why I decided to do the lesson from this angle.
Right.
Because they're gonna hear it and say, "Oh, these niggas worship the devil." Oh, it's Satan worship. And Masonry ain't got nothing to do with that.
Wow.
Israelite camps and compare it to the Jehovah's Witnesses.
And then to make it worse, the niggas that we associated with are Masons. So you found one guy that was a Mason, Wentworth Matthew, and he isn't even associated with One West. He's an Old Testament Israelite. His church still exists. They're now considered Jewish because they're non-messianic, and most Jewish people are non-messianic. Most Jewish people don't believe in the Messiah. So, in case y'all didn't know that, so like, because he's black, they know he ain't for them, so they don't believe in it.
So
like,
then I got a question. I mean, cut you off. So if we were to follow his understanding, and how can I phrase this? Let's say that he's saying that our foundation is Masonic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're leading the people astray, causing them to build up hate and division and all those things. But you have groups like the brother you said who was not even associated with the One West. His church now is a Jewish church, right?
Yeah, Wentworth Matthew. Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like what One West has done is maybe they noticed way early on that what was being taught may have been started by the Masons. And it was Abba Vivens who decided to say, you know what, this is not the way I'm getting up out of this. And he went with the truth of the scriptures. I mean, I'm trying to say, I'm trying to kind of reverse the situation. This is not, maybe that, I don't know. I'm just, because I'm trying to figure out his presentation doesn't make any sense. Because,
I mean, you could say that if there was proof.
I'm just putting something out there. I'm not saying that this is the truth, but to me, it seems like, that's the reason why that could have been the reason. Maybe that was the reason. Maybe it wasn't, but there was something that caused, we don't follow what he's saying. The foundation is not stem from Freemasonry. If anything, it's getting away from Freemasonry as far as possible, as much as possible.
Right.
That's how I see it.
But let me show you something just to prove that point. Watch this.
Okay.
So as I ended part 3, I ended with,
for those of you that don't know, Noble Drew Ali, Wentworth Matthew, Abba Bivens. This is who we come from. Everybody can see me circling this. You can see that knock? Okay. This is who we come from right here. The dude with the big old square, perfect, knock-looking beard. Okay?
Does look like mine.
Yeah, it looked like yours. Yeah, y'all might be related. He from Indiana. No, I'm playing. but this brother, Wentworth Matthew, right? He's the Old Testament Israelite. His church is the one that got the OT only stuff, right? As you see, he reads the Torah scroll with the modern Hebrew. That's what he's holding right here, right? We use Assyrian Hebrew, and then later on, Paleo Hebrew, right? He only uses modern Hebrew. Then you got Noble Drew Ali. He got a star on, but he not an Israelite. This is a Moor. So the man that taught you guys, I'm a Moor, and we're the Moors. Right. That knowledge came from this nigga. He created Moorish science. He doesn't use the Bible. He created his own Bible called the 7-letter Quran. So it's Quran that got Christian stuff in it.
Lord, and
talk about confusion. Okay?
That's gracious.
Now, when we get to Masonry, this guy is a Scottish Rite. Okay? We never learn what degree. So he could be anywhere from 4 to 33. But I guarantee you he wasn't nowhere near 33 because of the time period. He's born in like 1875 or something like that. He comes to Harlem in 1910. 1910, they not letting niggas get to 33rd degree. I promise you. So if he's the highest level Mason that these guys had contact with, he still don't know nothing. After all, we know what he taught. He didn't teach we were the Israelites. He taught we were Moors. Right. What is a Moor? A Moor is just a byword, guys.
That's right.
Black
just means black. Just means black.
So that means Noble Drew Ali, who's the highest Mason out of the three people here, had the least amount of information of knowledge of self. How about that?
Right.
The two guys that are just Prince Hall Masons, they both know they're Israelites. The guy who's Scottish Rite, who supposedly, if you listen in the Truth Unedited, learned from the white man to teach these other two guys the truth and make it distasteful and stuff, right? Well, this nigga don't even teach we the Israelites. He teach we Moors. He started something called Moorish Science Temples. Not Hebrew Israelite synagogues.
Doctrines of men.
Jewish temple. Moorish Science Temple. He's the nigga that got people talking about my last name is Bey. B-E-Y. And I'm a sovereign citizen.
Right.
Yeah. That come from this nigga. If the police pull you over and you're a black man, you don't have to have your license on them. If they ask you for your identification, tell them I'm a sovereign citizen. And if they pull you out the car and shoot your ass, when you're on your way to heaven, tell them y'all wasn't supposed to do that. I'm a sovereign citizen. This is Moorish science knowledge. That's what came from Noble Drew Ali. I call him unnoble Drew Ali because it's nothing noble about lying to people. Niggas ain't sovereign in America. We came here as slaves. Shut your damn mouth. Native Americans ain't sovereign in America. Y'all lost the place to the white people. Shut your mouth. So to think that this man was the guy that gave us the knowledge, he's the highest ranked Mason, it doesn't make any sense. So that's the first strike, right? But listen to what he says.
With discussing Abba Bivens. Be clear, it's not easy to...
Born in Philadelphia, right? So for one, he doesn't even have the truth on where the nigga was born, where the brother was born. Abba Bivens is from the South. He's not from Philadelphia. Georgia or South Carolina. He's not from Philadelphia. He learned he was an Israelite in the South. So even his knowledge, as we heard from a man that was from One West, that was there with One West, right? Priest Daniela, you can hear it from Elder Zaquan, who Priest Daniela said was there before him. You can hear it from Elder Barak, who was there before him, right? That the man was from the South. So how could this brother who told you he ain't got nothing to do with the Israelite camps, why didn't he tell you that the founder of the camps is from Philadelphia? He didn't talk to none of the camp leaders about this. He's just giving you guys false information. Right? Abba Bivens is not from Philadelphia. Second strike.
to discuss Abba Bivens because not much is documented about.
Moved. It says him and his wife moved to New York sometime between 1940 and 46, and they joined the Commandment Keepers. This is also a lie. They didn't join anything. They didn't join. He was fellowshipping. And you see, he got the fringes at the bottom of this thing. The Commandment Keepers don't wear fringes. This brother was so into the fringes and keeping the law, he put the fringes on the Torah scroll, my dude. You didn't see no fringes on Wentworth Matthews' picture. You could go to the Commandment Keepers now. They teach like IOG. They don't wear no fringes.
Mm-hmm.
The leaders of IOG learned from people like that. And guess where they founded? Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow, the brother from the South, who's not from Philadelphia, he not only believes in fringes. He believes in the Messiah. And he teaches the whole Bible, not just the Old Testament. So there's no way he joined them or learned from them or any of this stuff. Look, so far, everything on this piece of paper about Abba Bivens is a lie except for his name. How about that? And it got 52,000 views.
About him. We have his book, and there has been research done by others who.
This book is not the original book. And when you open the first page of the book by Chief Prince Zebulon and Ben Louis Hedakia, these guys aren't brothers from the camps. You understand that?
Right.
These two aren't guys from the camps. Abba Bivens was a man who founded the camps. The camp guys would know him. The camp guys would know his life. The elders of the camps should be the ones writing books about him, not niggas from the other side. We don't call ourselves Chief Prince anything. We don't call ourselves Prince anything. Shar, maybe, yeah. Chief Prince is what them niggas from Demona called himself. They learned from these guys from Philadelphia. Most of them are from Chicago and Philadelphia. The Demona guys that don't believe in the Messiah that made Ben Ami the Messiah over there in Israel. So any way you slice it and dice it, the people that actually come from Wentworth, Matthew, and the Commandment Keepers, they still teach different than us. Further proving we're not connected and never were. Right? They wrote a book on our elder, Abba Bivens, because he left his book behind. They published it to make money off of it, right? And they didn't even put the freaking right place he was born because they don't really know him. You understand that? Okay.
I do not align with, but that does not mean I disagree with what they have researched. There's a reason why we don't know very much about Bib.
We do know more than they know because all they did was research. It wasn't any talk. It wasn't no face-to-face conversations. It wasn't anybody that they knew that knew him.
Right.
They're not in the camps. If I ask my elders if they know Chief Prince, whoever that dude was, and the other nigga, Louis Hedakia, Hedekiah, whatever his name was, like, they don't know those brothers. They just did what Vocab did, took the opportunity to make a book. That book was published in 2023, guys. That's not no old book. 2023 was a year and a half ago. Y'all realize that? Abba Bivens got stomped out and killed by Muslims in like 86 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's been dead for a long time. Yeah, that's how he died. Y'all ain't know that, huh? He was street preaching with the Muslims, going back and forth in the debate, and they killed him in the debate. That's how he died.
Martyred.
Literal. So they wrote a book. They don't know him. They have no connection to him or the people that had connection to him, but they wrote a book and published it in 2023 and told you at the beginning, we don't really know this brother. Ain't much to know about him, but we did our research and tried to come up with as much as we could. For all we know, these niggas might not even be Israelites for real because don't nobody know who they are. So, I mean, but we know that they didn't even put his freaking birthplace correct. They said that he falsely joined the Commandment Keepers, which that was a lie. He didn't join them. The Commandment Keepers teach Messiah didn't exist. Abba Bivens taught us that he did. So if he learned and taught with the Commandment Keepers, why is he teaching something different than they taught? Why is his foundation completely different than theirs? Even blasphemous according to what they teach. Because they would teach that the Messiah is a made-up character.
Right.
How could the foundation be so different, but they worked together and came together and learned from each other? It doesn't make any sense.
The reason is because it was by design. You see, in Bivens' book, in the editor's preface, he speaks about the fact that we know.
This is not Bivens' book. This was published.
very little about Bivens.
Can I move this? It won't let me. It's crazy. It won't let me take it off.
What are you trying to do?
Editor's preface written by, as he refers to himself,
I was
Chief
trying to see
Prince.
what's going.
In the editor's preface written by, as he refers to himself, Chief Prince Zebulon ben Louis Hezekiah, written on September 17th.
Okay, this is what I was looking for. You see that? This Chief Prince Zebulon ben Louis Hezekiah, right? You know that he ain't anybody from the camps because we don't spell our names like that. He would have been Chief Shar Zabawalan Ban Loya Hezekiah if he was from our situation. He would have spelled Shalom this way, not that way. What the hell is that? Shalom.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to. I'm like, what? I've never seen it like that. Shallow.
And then
shalom,
look,
Yisrael.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That ain't got nothing to do with us. We get on the people that spell Israel like this. So now we see what this is. This is a come up book. This was a book for a come up.
Yeah, that's a made up word. Really.
This man, Prince Zebulon ben Louis Hezekiah, doesn't know anything about Abba Bivens. Doesn't know anything about the camps. Doesn't learn from the camps. Doesn't teach with the camps. He doesn't even spell Israel or talk Israel or pronounce Israel the way the camps pronounce Israel. The way the people that Abba Bivens taught to say the word, say the word.
Right.
Right? So if we come from the camps and he don't come from the camps, why is he writing a book? Our elders are older brothers, right? Yeah. They've written books before. Zaquan's an author, best-selling, and stuff like that, right? He ain't writing no book about Abba Bivens. But somehow this dude that's less connected than Elder Zaquan thinks he's qualified to write a book about Abba Bivens. While in the preface, however you want to say it, telling you he don't really know much about the guy.
He's already killed his whole. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
And to make matters worse, it was only made 2 years ago. So
this brother
you don't know much about the guy, and you didn't do no research because the guys that did know much about the guy are still alive. See what I'm saying? So he got all his research from a book and then says he doesn't know these guys, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't believe what they researched. And they didn't even research his birthplace correctly. So make it make sense. Can you then believe anything else they said?
Nope.
If they couldn't even tell you where he was born, all right.
Kind of hard.
2023, he writes this.
That's 3 strikes, but we're going to keep striking.
2023.
When sitting down to write a suitable preface for this work, I could not cease from basking in the reality that such a work was even in existence. For the better part of 40 years, the identity and legacy of Eber Benjamin Abba Bivens has been shrouded in mystery, largely by design.
How could he say that if he don't know him? How is the man allowed to say largely by design if he doesn't know him?
Is this the preface of the book?
Yes.
It's wild.
Watch this.
When people in the Hebrew Israelite communities speak the name Abba Bivens, it is universally in the context of the man who established IUSPK.
You can't even read. It's ISUPK. It's right on the screen. He said IUSPK.
While this is not exactly true nor relevant to our current endeavor, suffice it to say that little else was known of Abba Bivens outside of ISUPK.
Again, that's not true. Because of all the stuff I just told you about him, we still haven't mentioned ISUPK because he didn't found ISUPK. He founded Israelite School of Torah. IST. That's what he founded. IST. Israelite School of Torah in Harlem. Yaakov and Masha formed ISUPK. One West. That was the address.
Yep.
So it's like, bro, there's information on him. Y'all just don't have the information on him because what was written in his book wasn't supposed to be about him. It was supposed to be about teaching that we are the chosen people, right? The book wasn't about a biography of Abba Bivens, right? This guy made a sort of a biography about Abba Bivens while using a book that Abba Bivens wrote that wasn't a biography. So he says largely by design, not realizing that wasn't the point of the book, you duck monkey. But if you spoke to Abba Bivens or anybody that knew him, he told you about his life, told you where he's from, told you how he came into the truth, told you all that type of stuff, right? And there's elders that know this stuff.
Okay. So it was largely by design that we know very little about Abba Bivens. Who he is intentionally shrouded in mystery.
That's not
so. But here's the problem that exists. Though very little is known about this man, the esteem that's given to him by many Israelite camps, particularly under IUSPK, it's
now you see this clearly says GMS, but he's trying to lump everybody under the same banner. You know what I'm saying? GMS would do that because Elder Apostle Tahar was somebody that was around. He's one of the oldest brothers in the thing. You know what I'm saying? So he be doing the little thing where he be trying to figure out who brothers are spiritually, and he be asking the hypothetical questions. Hey, do you think Abba Bivens was Elijah the prophet? It's just a question. Meditating on the kingdom, having fun. That's all he doing. It ain't nothing serious. It's not nothing giving a brother extreme esteem like you trying to make it. It's a hypothetical. Because we all are people from back in the past. We don't know who we are. He's just saying, based on the work that this brother did, who do you think he is? But you see how he used that to try to make it seem like brothers are just giving brothers names and stuff? That's what they did at the old school. They used to call Masha King David because of his position, the way he used to act. They say he got the demeanor of what they would think King David would be like. He's the top guy at the school when all these brothers are waking up. The strongest we was at that time as far as the truth, right? So it's like they're like, this gotta be King David. They got other brothers that they're giving nicknames to and stuff like that, right? And they're like, well, this brother, Abba Bivens, the foundation of it all, he got to be Elijah the prophet. That was just a hypothetical they were saying. It's nothing serious.
Extreme. In many of these camps, Abba Bivens is looked at in a very idolatrous way. He is their prophet, and he is the base.
No, we teach we're all prophets, you freaking fool.
He's their prophet.
No, we are our prophets. We are teaching the Bible. We are regurgitating what the prophet said. We are the ones on the corners teaching what the prophet said via the Most High and his son. That's what a prophet does. Yes, he is our prophet, if you want to call him that, because he taught us what we're supposed to be taught. Right? He didn't teach us nothing wrong. You even said that. We got the truth. We just don't like the way we present it. Well, he's the reason we got the truth. He taught it to us. Right? So what's wrong with giving double honors to the elect elders that ruled well, like the Bible says? You duck monkey. What's wrong with giving double honors to the elders that rule well? He obviously ruled well. He started something that has not been stopped yet.
And won't be.
Only spread and got bigger. And like the brother just said, it won't stop. Why doesn't he deserve double honors and esteem for that? When the Bible says to give double honors and esteem for things like that. Oh, okay.
Of many of the Hebrew Israelite camps, though others have moved past him. The One West camps that we all know of today that are on the street corners, they all stem from the influence of Abba Bivens. And as I have explained in part 2 and part 3, Abba Bivens' influence comes from the affiliation with Wentworth Arthur Matthew.
You see this? Watch. Was Ford's student. So you see, he changed the slide. This is not the same slide that I read to you in the last video. It didn't say he was Elijah Ford's student. For those of you that don't know Elijah Ford, that is the real name of the noble Drew Ali. So now all of a sudden, this man is part 1, they don't know each other. Part 4, Wentworth Matthew is Elijah Ford's student. He just keeps adding lies on top of lies. So I decided once I saw this, I was like, what? Hold on, let me let him finish.
Founder of the Commandment Keepers, who was a Prince Hall Freemason and had a Masonic lodge as a part of his Commandment Keeper organization.
So look, he's trying to say that the Royal Order of the Ethiopian Hebrews is a Masonic lodge and not a church, just because he could find information that the brother was a Prince Hall Mason. I've already explained to you, being a Prince Hall Mason isn't anything special.
Nope.
You only go to the first 3 degrees, which essentially makes it a fraternity. This is the early 1900s as well, mind you. Jim Crow, you know, niggas still getting hung. It's still sharecroppers in America. Slavery is only 30 years away from 40, 50 years away from being abolished. So it's still people that are black and Hispanic that are living at the bottom of the totem pole still, right? You think they're going to be giving you secret information just because you decide to open up a Prince Hall Mason Lodge? Are you serious? Take things into perspective. It don't make sense.
And Matthews was influenced by...
This is Wentworth Matthew. I mean, this is Elijah Ford, right? He said this guy was his teacher.
A Scottish Rite Mason, Arnold Josiah Ford. The Masonic connections continue down the line.
Now, he just ran over that real quick. He said that he was influenced by Josiah Ford or Noble Drew Ali, right? Now, let's look something up to see if that was true. Was Wentworth influenced by Noble Drew Ali, or was he influenced by Marcus Garvey? Two different people. And it's the connection between Arnold Ford and Wentworth Matthew. Is that a connection they had with each other? Or is their connection the actual Marcus Garvey? Let's see. All right. Because, you know, this is a well-known man. He does have a, look, they even call him Rabbi Wentworth Matthew. Why? Because he and his church are nationally recognized Israelites, Jewish Israelites, that is, right? He founded the Israelite Rabbinical Academy, which I think still exists. Let me see. And then they got Black Hebrew Israelites as a subgroup. Okay, no, I stopped. 1970. Okay. Well, they got that, right? And I mean, he's been able to go up and did his thing. So Matthew said he was born in Lagos, Nigeria. Then moved to, but records say he was born in St. Kitts. So they don't even know where the brother was born himself. Right? He says Lagos, but they claim records show St. Kitts. What records? We don't know.
Nice.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like all this stuff. But I wanted to show you this part. Okay, so look. 1919, he founded the Commandment Keepers of the Living God in Harlem, Israelite movement. I'm not even going to say Black Hebrew because we know what it is. He was strongly influenced by white Jews he had met, right? Now, mind you, the Truth Unedited tried to say that Noble Drew Ali or Arnold Ford taught him, and that Arnold Ford was taught by white Jews, but you're going to find out they don't actually know each other yet. In 1919, they don't know each other. So both of them were taught by white Jews?
Right.
Okay, interesting. When he learned about Beta Israel, which I've taught you guys about them before, right? In Ethiopia, these are the Ethiopians that the Jewish people have been trying to allow to come back to pretend that they're us, right? So that they wouldn't get in trouble for taking the land. So He found out about Beta Israel of Ethiopia, and he began to identify with them, which is why he had the Order of the Ethiopian Jews on the board that you saw in that picture that I just showed you of his school, right? So the commandment keepers didn't have commandment keepers on the sign. It said the Order of the Ethiopian Hebrews. He got that because of Beta Israel. So this is all a copycat thing, right? Matthews finds out, according to the information out there, Matthews finds out he's a Jew from white people, Jewish people, and then finds out about Beta Israel of Ethiopia, right, who aren't actually Israelites, and then identifies with them. Matthew trained rabbis who set up synagogues throughout the United States, which is why and the Caribbean, which is why he's recognized with, the Jewish community and their synagogues as a actual rabbi. When interviewed, many of the older members of the community recall memories of their parents observing Jewish dietary laws, such as abstaining from pork and salting their meat. Matthew and his congregation were also strongly influenced by Pan-African philosophy of Marcus Garvey. Right? Watch this. And his Black nationalist organization, the Universal Negro Improvement Association. Watch this. Rabbi Arnold Josiah Ford, Noble Drew Ali, composed the UNIA's Universal Ethiopian Anthem and hymnal. He also led the UNIA band and conducted its choir. It doesn't say anything about him and Wentworth having any type of relationship. It just mentions Josiah Ford as the man that wrote the anthem for the UNIA. The Ethiopian anthem. He wrote that. Arnold Ford wrote it, right? And Wentworth Matthew saw himself as the Ethiopian Jew, right? But Arnold Josiah Ford didn't call himself an Ethiopian Jew. He was a Moor. So how could he be the one influencing him? They can't prove that. That's why they had to go ahead and tell you it was Marcus Garvey. Because there is information that Marcus Garvey worked with Israelites. One of which being Wentworth Matthew. So even the Wikipedia page doesn't say that him and Arnold had any type of actual relationship or anything like that. Just says that Arnold was a part of the same organization that he was a part of while they were both following Marcus Garvey. That's it. So that's what I wanted to show y'all in regards to that. Right? The brother he's made up lies after lie after lie after lie after lie after lie. And y'all believe it because you have no other reason to, right? You would think he's telling you the truth because it's supposed to be stuff you researched. He's going to put the video out there. But the birthplace for Abba Bivens was wrong. The relationship between Abba Bivens and Wentworth Matthew was wrong. The relationship between Abba Bivens and the commandment keepers was wrong. And how he learned and where he learned the truth from was wrong. The place they had him born was wrong. The way he started the camps was wrong. The camp he started was wrong. Because they claim he started the ISUPK when he didn't. He started the Israelite School of Torah. So he didn't say nothing factually correct when it came to the history of One West, but then claims we never talk about the history when I have a video on SOT channel talking about the history of One West. When Vocab tried to do this junk a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? So I know if I'm talking about it, other people are talking about it. So yeah, y'all can't keep saying that, man. But that's all I got for y'all tonight. I'm gonna let y'all go. I know not gotta go to sleep and everything, but I just wanted y'all to understand and get the understanding that Freemasonry at the ground level is not what y'all think it is. It's not this super duper spooky thing, right? You have to join a rite in order to get any of the secrets. And what Truth Unedited has been teaching is lies. He doesn't have any proof that anybody was higher degree than Prince Hall, 3rd degree Mason. You don't learn anything at the 3rd degree. You're essentially in a fraternity. You have to join either the York Rite, the Scottish Rite, or the Swedish Rite, or the French Rite to become a 4th degree all the way to 33rd degree. And I guarantee you won't learn anything at a degree number 4 or 5. It's nothing secret. If Noble G. Ali / Josiah Ford had this superior knowledge as a Scottish Rite Mason to teach us this perverted way to teach the gospel, then he would have also been teaching the gospel like this. He wouldn't have been teaching he was a Moor. He wouldn't have been teaching he was a byword if he had all this superior knowledge. Right? If Wentworth Matthew was this superior Israelite Freemason, he would have known to teach the New Testament. He wouldn't have been an Old Testament only nigga. They won't get salvation. If they get picked up, they will be considered the tares. Right? So those things I got to keep into perspective. Put in perspective if you ain't put it there. But if you got it, keep it there. Don't forget it. So we can't be the same if we different. That's just the facts. And we teach the New Testament. They don't. That's the foundation. Abba Bivens and Wentworth Matthew didn't start their own camp together because Wentworth Matthew was Old Testament. Abba Bivens was New Testament. Abba Bivens tried to bring it to him to make him keep the New Testament. He said no, he gonna keep doing what he doing over here. And then the Israelite School of Torah was created. After Abba Bivens gets killed, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge gets created. And then we have what we have now. So that's the history. Hope y'all understood it. If you didn't, ask an elder and they will tell you because they're still alive. With that, shalom.
All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High God, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. That was some good stuff. I hope people kind of tuned in and were able to pick up a lot of the things that this truth, uneducated. I keep saying uneducated, unedited. Truth,
yeah,
truth unedited has put out, and it's evident he did not do credible research on his project. But hey, you know, this is what we have to do. We're going to have some of us in Israel who are going to, you know, try and even scatter the sheep that are coming back to the remembrance of who they are. Let's just hope the truth unedited, you know, kind of wakes up and gets it together. You know, we'll pray for the brother. But hey, for those who came in late, I'm gonna run off the names real quick that I wrote down here. Didn't catch everybody, but shalom to Amram Israel, shalom to Sister Rose, shalom to Sister Anariah, shalom to Brother Octaze, to Palaya, shalom to the mighty soldier Yaquab, and shalom to Brother Yaakov that I seen pop in. I didn't see any other names that came in. As far as I'm going through, I don't see any. But thank you for being with us this evening. Before we go, though, I want to go ahead and give a few announcements. Hey, any brothers who are wanting to put their brick in to help build this congregation, help build this nation back together with Anointed House of Saints, you can do so by sending us your interest through email at anointedhos@gmail.com. Just in the subject line, please do add that you want to be a part, or just put in the subject line prospect phase, and we will get that information to you as when our next phase will start. Also, any sisters who are wanting to help the brothers for the Anointed House of Saints, because we need our sisters and our brothers to work together as a union. And so we need the sisters, you know, we need sisters to teach the younger sisters, right, to teach the children. Any sisters who want to put their brick in, right, and help with the Anointed House of Saints, please do the same as the brothers by sending us your information or your interest through email at anointedhos@gmail.com. Also, we appreciate that, and we'll get that information back to you when you let us know that you'd like to partake in the building of our nation. Let's see, what else do I have on here real quick so I can let y'all go. I'll pull this up real quick. Our feast day calendar. Hey, we just ended a Feast of First Fruits. We had a grand and wonderful time in Chicago, Illinois, with Captain Yawasop. We had brothers from Indiana, brothers from Ohio, brothers from North Carolina, brothers from Michigan, from AHOS, up there with our brother in the Windy City, along with we actually did a unity camp with brothers from HOI Chicago and WFI Chicago. So all praises for that. We had a wonderful time. We had great food. I believe Yawasap may have been cooking most of it. He had his apron on, y'all. So I guess that was his way of saying that he know how to throw down. But he had his apron on, and we ate good. So all praises to that. All praises to the Most High for that. So yeah, we finished up with Feast of First Fruits. Our next High Holy Day is going to be a Day of Atonement. But we do have the new moon coming up. I can't see that; it's too far away from my. Let me pull that up a little bit. New moon. Next new moon, of course, which will be our fourth moon, will be coming up June 25th. We'll get the information out for you for that. Also, the next, I jumped the gun. I said Day of Atonement, Salakia. Feast of Trumpets, September 1st. All right, Feast of Trumpets. If anyone wants to get a hold of this calendar, please reach out to us by email, and we'll be able to send you a copy of the calendar so that you can keep abreast of the feast days and as to when we will be congregating as a body. But let me exit out of here. Also, real quick, I want to show this real quick. Salakia, let me pull it up. For those of you who don't know, because hey, first of all, I want everybody, before you leave, if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. That helps the algorithm. We need more of this to get out to more of our people. And you can do your part with putting your brick in just by liking, sharing, and subscribing. But right here, for anyone who has not visited our website yet, which is at anointedhouseofsaints.org, anointedhouseofsaints.org, we have a website, and this website is getting better and better. Just want to show a few things on here for those who may not know. If you want to support Anointed House of Saints, you can do so by coming to our website and looking for the support tab, clicking on support, and becoming a member, right? Choosing a donation package and becoming either a $20 foundation supporter, a $50 growth supporter, or a $100 mission partner. All these different, these three different categories or three different tiers give you incentives within the congregation. I'm not going to go through them right now, but all you need to do is select here. It will take you to another page where you would fill out your information, and then you would dedicate yourself to a monthly support of whatever tier you choose. This helps us provide taking care of things when we have our community events. It also goes towards keep the upkeep of our school, which is located in Greensboro, North Carolina. It also helps us, to be able to support our own people who may be in need, right? Supporting the poor and the needy of our people. But it goes a long way. Those of you who may not be able to commit to a monthly tier can still give alms through our Cashapp. That's $AHOS School. You can do that of any amount. We'd appreciate any amount. Just like the scriptures say, Tobit 12:9, for alms doth deliver from death and shall purge away all sin. Those that exercise alms and righteousness shall be filled with life. So we appreciate it. As I said before, this goes towards everything AHOS, towards the community, towards the body, because we want to take the kingdom. All right. Also on this website, we have a shop. So those who may want to get some apparel or some merchandise, you can check out our shop where we have the bucket hats, we have the backpacks, we have the pajamas, we have the mugs, the sweatshirts, and the blankets. Right now,
we can't even see it.
I didn't switch it. Oh man, what? All this whole time y'all didn't tell me. My bad, y'all. Dang. Oh Lord, is that it now?
I still see other things.
Why is it not showing?
I don't know. That's weird. Is my computer?
Why is it not showing? I got to pull it up. Hey, can y'all see that in the chat? I've just been talking. Nobody said nothing. Man,
it's showing on your thing. I can see the knock, but on my screen, I still see the.
You still
calendar.
see that?
Hold on.
That's weird. All right, let me do it. Let me do this. Let me stop. Present again. I may have messed it up. How is that? Can you see it now?
Nah.
I know it. I know why. That's
you got the demo screen.
Yeah, that's my fault. That's my fault. I didn't take this off. It was on there. It was just covered up.
Yeah.
It was just covered up. Salakia, everybody. Hey, everybody must be asleep, man.
Yeah, they knocked out. It's cool.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm still gonna do what I do. This is what I'm up here to do. I'm here to promote the things that we have going on for our people. But as I was stating, this is the let me go back. Support tier of choose a donation package of $20, $50, $100. You can select a tier, sign up, and become a dedicated monthly supporter or mission partner every month of your choice. If you cannot dedicate yourself right now, you can also give any amount, give alms of any amount through our Cashapp AHOS School. Also, we have our shop page where you can purchase merchandise with more merchandise coming. So I show this because I want people to get used to, to visiting the website. The more people visit the website, the more we're able to know the algorithm, and we can provide more things that on the website for you to be able to look up and take a look at and learn from, right? So this is our AHOS webpage, Anointed House of Saints. When you get a chance, please get on the page and sign up. Become a member on the. You don't have to. Actually, you can actually become a member of the website without actually giving out any support or any alms or any money like that. Also, okay. So with that, let me go ahead and stop that. We're gonna go ahead and get this Daniel 7 and 18. Hope everyone was edified. Tonight's class, Truth Unedited, proven to be a duck monkey, which we definitely proved. He was a double duck monkey on this one, because I didn't understand at all what point he was trying to make in his 4 presentations or 4-part series of saying that we are from Freemasonry. So anyway, let's see. Let's remind the people. Yo, we have class through the week. Our Thursday night lab or Torah lab with Captain Jonathan. We'll be having that. Usually goes on and goes live around 8:30. That'll be Thursday night. Also, our Friday night focus, we'll have an officer or soldier bringing out a class on Friday night. And then, of course, Saturday, Sabbath morning brew. We'll have brothers on our Sabbath morning brew, which is 11 a.m. Sabbath morning, or on the Sabbath, 11 a.m. So we can hope that you would be able to attend that also. Let's see what else. Hey, we got to endure. We have to endure, because we got people coming after us, Israel. They don't like us waking up and knowing who we are.
Hey, Magan, we got the recording, brother. You know it's going to be up there.
That's right. So, hey, check it out. Magan. Yeah, shalom to you, King. Shalom. Let's see. Let's get that Daniel 17 so we can go ahead and let y'all get on out of here. All right. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 18. And it reads, "But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. By Hashem, Hamashiach Yahawashi." Again, we want to thank you for joining us every Monday, especially this Monday. We look forward to seeing you next time. I'm Officer Knock.
Captain All the aristocrat.
And thank you for visiting and being with us for another Milk Mondays. All right. Until next time, shalom, family. Shalom.
This is not a test.
Black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music.